In order to succeed, your desire to success should be greater than your fear of failure. An inspiring quote by Bill Cosby. Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to our respected guest, Mr. Adhir Mathur, all the faculty members and students of PGDM batch 2024-26. I, Hardik Unatkat, MC for the session, accord you a warm and cordial welcome to the Campus to Corporate workshop for batch 2024-26. It's my honor to introduce our guest, Mr. Adhir Mathur. Sir, may I proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Adhir Mathur has an accumulated over 38 years of corporate experience as a learning and development professional. During his tenure at GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceuticals, he held managerial positions in the sales function across various locations and also worked in the training functions at Corporate Office Mumbai. His expertise includes capability building, negotiation, KAM model, coaching model, competency assessment, performance conversation, and assessment centers to support sales manager at first line and second line. As an ICF certified coach, he has over 450 coaching hours of experience at leadership levels and has a passion for transforming people's life through coaching conversation. Additionally, he has over 600 hours of experience in facilitating sessions on design thinking for leadership roles in various sectors both online as well as offline. Mr. Adhir is deeply interested in facilitation and coaching, and he strongly believes in lifelong learning. He applies this knowledge from his certification as a certified professional EQ and behavioral analyst and certified design thinking trainer to work with enthusiasm. We are very privileged to have an esteemed personality among us. So without any further ado, I would like to take this honor inviting Mr. Adhir Mathur to address the young minds present over here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope it's working, yeah. And thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And I was a little amused by the number 38 years. Do I look that? When you heard that 38 years? It doesn't look, right? So it means 38 is just a number, right? Thank you so much. And yes, of course, I spent all over 38 years in the corporate life. And for the last couple of years, I'm into the world of freelancing as a corporate trainer and also as a leadership coach. And before I begin, hearty congratulations to every one of you for having cleared all the processes. So congratulations to every one of you. Right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And when I see you all, right, bright young faces, I am also reminded of my time when I was sitting like you all, right? Maybe a couple of decades back, but I'm reminded of that. And when I see myself in your position, I draw a metaphor from a situation of an aircraft which is ready for takeoff. You see, when the aircraft gets ready, you know, the air hostess generally shuts the door, the aircraft taxis to the takeoff point, right? And from then on, what does the aircraft do? It picks up the speed and then takes it off. So when I see such a situation, I see yourself there as an aircraft which is ready for takeoff. So now that you are coming into a business school, in maybe the 2 years that you are going to spend here in this great institution is the runway for you, right? And once the time comes for you to graduate yourself from the business school and then come out of the business school, right? You're getting into the corporate life, that's when your corporate life will take off. So this 2 years that you're going to spend here is your runway, right? And remember that your career is going to take off the way aircraft takes off. So what is it that you're going to do in these 2 years that you're going to spend here as a runway is what you're going to talk about today as C2C or campus to corporate, right? While you may be here hardly a week back, right? And the time flies. And you know, I hear him saying that 2024-26 batch. So the time flies and 26 will come no sooner. And when the time comes for you to leave this campus and get into the corporate world, that is the time you will realize what all we have discussed, that you are ready for that. So this session is meant for you to gear up yourself so that you are picking up the speed and taking off in your career in the year 2026. And remember, if you have to take off, or your career has to take off, the preparation doesn't start in 2026. When does it start? It starts right now. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So that's why this session of Campus to Corporate. So as we will go through this session, please try and connect yourself and think of yourself as an aircraft which is there on the runway and ready to take off, and your runway is of 2 years. Are we good for that? Yes, sir. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So I'm sure you'd like to know a bit about me as well. My friend has already introduced me, and one thing that I like to add to what he said is I'm also passionate about writing blogs. So I have been blogging for a couple of years now. I publish it in LinkedIn and other places. And I thought the best way of reaching masses is through a book. So I published a book as well, which got released last year. The title of the book is Unbox Me, which you can see up on the screen here. Right? Let me tell you the background of this book. We go through, as humans, a lot of thoughts in a day. The research says, on an average, we go through 60,000 thoughts in a day. 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. Ever imagine this number? 60 to 70 thoughts is what we go through every day, right? And 70% to 80% of these thoughts are negative. That is primarily because of our ancestors who used to live in cages, right? For their survival, the negative thoughts used to come for fight or flight, for their own survival. And these negative thoughts come very easily to the human mind. And so much so that these negative thoughts will also put us in a limiting belief, in a cage of limiting belief. So this book, Unbox Me, is an attempt to transform people, right, from the cage of limiting beliefs to unbox themselves, right, and get transformed. So that's what this book is all about. Right, let us set the ground rules. The ground rules that we are going to set for our own self, because we are going to be here for the next 4 hours, right? So feel free to participate generously. There are mics, I believe, which will go around. So please pick up a mic and share your thoughts. Or any queries that we may have at any point of time, feel free to bring it up. So best way of asking the query or sharing a perspective is to raise the hand. The mic will come to you, right? And we are going to have a break. There is a change in the break time, right? The break is going to be at 3:45. And we are going to have not 15 minutes, but 30 minutes break. Okay? So 3:45 we'll break and we'll come back at 4:15. So there is a change in the break time there. Don't go by those numbers. Right? So 3:45 and 4:15 is going to be the break time. All right? So let us try and make it as participative as possible. I am also interested in knowing your perspectives in case you have got any. Right, and love to hear voices here. Right, with these ground rules, let us get going. Right, I'm sure you all must be curious to figure it out, what is going to be my future. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
I know. As you come and get admission here, and then you and of course your family members, everyone must be very curious to know what is going to be my future. Right? And I'm reminded of this famous quote of a management guru, Peter Drucker, who went on to say that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And what is it that you're going to do here in this great institution? Sorry? You're going to create your own future here. And you can't be getting ready for your future after 2 years when the time comes for you to leave this institution. Right? You can't be doing it in the last sem. So the best way of creating the future or getting ready to take off is right now, from now onwards. The time begins now. All right? Yes, right. So with this famous quote of Peter Drucker, let us move on. And let's do one activity. Are you all ready for that? Yes, sir. Right. We'll get into a cafe. Right. Not a tea cafe or a restaurant, but we'll get into a conversation cafe. Ready for that? Yes, sir. Right. So what we'll do in this activity is, you will be talking to your neighbor. So we'll do a paired conversation, and you talk to your neighbor, and the topic of this conversation is going to be what makes corporate life different from the campus. I repeat again, what makes the corporate life different from campus? Whatever you know about corporate life, whatever you know about campus life, I'm sure you all must have gone through a lot of campuses, right? In your 10+2, in your graduation, right? So you know lots about campus life, but whatever you know about campus, about corporate life, have a conversation with your neighbor, right, in a paid conversation where you are going to talk to your neighbor for 2 minutes and listen to the other person for 2 minutes, right? So 2 plus 2, 4 minutes, right? We are going to have a conversation where you both are going to share your own stories about what exactly is campus life, how is it different from corporate life, right? What makes corporate life different from campus life? Is it fine? Yes, sir. Right. So I am sure there are a lot of, we can find pairs. In case there is an odd number, you can have a triad as well. Right? Can we get going? Right. And your time begins now, 4 minutes. Have a conversation with your neighbor as a paid activity. Paid activity. You're going to, 3 of you are going to talk? Okay, fine. Who's your neighbor? So you can talk to him. Talk to him. Carry on. Just share your thoughts. Have a conversation. Time for you to change now. Yeah. Change over. Carry on your conversation. Carry on with your conversation. Wonderful. Love to hear some voices. I know a lot of conversations were happening in every row, right? I didn't want to interfere in any of the conversation, but I'm a little curious to learn from you all about what is it that you have been hearing from your neighbor, right? What is it that your neighbor has heard from you? Any of you would like to talk about what has been your experience? You have shared your perspective, you have heard your neighbor's perspective as well, right? Can we have the mic going around, please, if someone can help me?
Jain sir, Prajal Mishra here. Sir, while discussing with my neighbor, I got to know that not many differences are there compared to campus and corporate life. Instead, we figure out that there are many similarities. Like in campus, we have to follow many rules, and in corporate also, we have to follow many rules. So while discussing, we came to know that there are a lot of similarities. There are minute differences between campus and corporate, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And what makes it different?
Sir, in campus, we get the support of our teachers. If we make a mistake, it's not so serious. But in corporate, if you make a mistake, it becomes really serious, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's one part of the story. Okay. Who is going to build on this now? Who is going to build on this? Yeah, can you pass on the mic, please? Let's try and build on this. What makes the corporate life different from campus?
Jain sir,
Jai Hind.
this side Ankit Pandey from Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. So I was having a conversation with Lalit Kandale from Maharashtra. So after discussion, we came to point that it is like in campus we are benefited by the services of our lecturers, and in corporate the benefit which we get we are going to benefit the corporates. So it is we are taking from them and benefiting the corporates in the corporate life.
Okay.
The skills which we are acquiring from the campus,
Okay.
it is applying in the corporate and making them benefit.
Okay. One is the mistake part of it. The other is benefit. Right. Wonderful. I'm picking up some keywords.
Thank
Right.
you,
Let
sir.
us move the mic here. I have another mic here. Yeah. Right. Right. Let us listen to the other side. What is it that you are hearing from your neighbor?
So me and my partner, we discussed about the differences. So we think that there is a lot of politics or discrimination can happen in the corporate world. In a campus, everyone is treated equally. There is no differentiation. But in corporate world, there can be relations and discrimination can take place.
Okay. Discrimination. So one is mistake. The other is mistakes that you're talking about, and benefit to the organization. Right. What else?
Jai Hind,
Yeah,
sir.
Jai
This
Hind.
side Tanisha from Mumbai. So we were discussing about how the environments are mostly in corporate, it is more professional, and in campus you can even learn new things. As in corporate is a bit restricted to your own specific field. In campus you can meet different fields people and then learn about their field as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Learning.
Yeah,
Right.
learning.
Right. Learning.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
I am Tanvi. So I would like to add one point here that in campus there is a healthy competition, and in corporate there is an individual competition that we have to compete with others as well. And it's also there that there is a first impression is the last impression in the corporate.
First impression is the last impression. Wow. So first impression should be the
Last
best
impression. Best impression in the
Right.
corporate.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Excellent. Can
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Vidya, and I would like to add up some points regarding campus and what we can say corporate life. In campus, we learn and acquire the knowledge, and whereas in corporate life, we are like well experienced. Like after the corporate life, after the what we can say campus, we acquire the knowledge regarding the campus, and campus made us eligible for the corporate life.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So campus makes us eligible for the corporate life.
Yes.
Wonderful. We'll build on this. Yeah, we'll maybe take another two more from this side. Yeah. Please pick up a mic. Let it come here. Love the sort of energy. Yeah. I see
Jai
lot
Hind,
of hands
sir.
going up.
Vivek Singh here.
Yeah.
So while having a discussion on this topic, we decided that in campus life we are getting more theoretical and practical knowledge. In corporate we are facing the real life experiences like knowledge.
Okay, real life knowledge. Okay,
Yes,
wow,
sir.
wonderful.
Jain sir, my name is Anshu
Jai
Shukla. In corporate sir, there is an hierarchy and a scalar chain we have to follow for reporting. In organization, we have to in campus we have to report to different specified teachers, and we know. But in corporates, we have to report to a person who is in the upper level of our scalar chain, and then he will move the our queries and our doubts to the upper person. And second, sir, there is unity of order in the corporates. means an individual has to report to his own boss only. But in campus, we don't have any unity of command. We have to just respective authority. We have to.
Okay. So there is a line manager for you to report.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Tanmay More. Basically, we had the trio communication among three of us, and I would like to put forward our collective perspectives. That is, in corporate life, we are bit self-motivated to work hard because we are getting paid by the company, and at the same time, in campus life, we are little bit not self-motivated because we just work hard for the sake of getting good marks.
Oh, that's a motivation for you, right? Marks is a motivation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow, wonderful.
These
Thank you
were
so much.
Collective or three perspectives.
Right. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. I know some of you have also been raising the hand, but we'll take it up as we move forward, or maybe you can share in the break as well. Right. So let us move on, and with this wonderful conversation, where we could hear many voices about what exactly is corporate life all about. How is it different from the existing campus life? We'll dwell more on it as we move forward. And I'm a little curious to know, because you all are graduates getting into post-graduation now. How many of you have worked in the past and come here? Wow, you all have worked? You all come with work experience? Wonderful, wonderful. Let me get a cross check. Okay, some 10%. You all come with a work experience? Wow, excellent. Right, let me get a quick response here. How many of you come with an engineering background? 1, 2, okay, wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. And how many of you come with a commerce background? Oh, wow, that's a majority, I think. That's a majority, huh? No wonder that's a majority, commerce background. So commerce and then business management, it works very well. Wow, wonderful. So I can also see that I think about 15 to 20% of you come with a work experience. Wow, wonderful. There's so much to learn from you all, right? And let us move on. As I said, there is a lot to cover in these 4 hours. What is the kind of agenda that we have for these 4 hours? We'll be covering many topics, right? We have already done the context setting. We'll try and see what exactly is professional communication skill all about. We all have our own communication skills, but when it comes to the professional space, what is the communication skill is all about? We'll try and dwell more on this. And then from there, we'll go on to the corporate environment. When we're getting into the corporate life, what's the environment there? What's the kind of hierarchy? What's the kind of culture, values, vision, mission? We'll have a look at that. And how do I build my professional image? As a student, I have my own image, but when it comes to the corporate world, right, I have to create my own image, right? So what's that professional image that I need to carry for my own self? And, as you move on, you will get lots of roles and responsibilities in the corporate world. Right, in your job description, there will be a lot of roles and responsibilities. How do you manage that time? How do you become more productive by managing the time? And how do you manage to come out of that procrastination? Do we do procrastination? Yes. I know, including myself, I'm no different. So how do we come out of that procrastination and be more productive? We'll have a look at that. And in the corporate world, of course, you will be part of a team. There will be a team leader, whichever team that you are in, whichever function that you are in, right? You can be in HR, you can be in supply chain, you can be in finance, you can be in sales, you can be in marketing, right? Or you can be in IT team, or whichever team that you are in, you will work as a team, right? So it's, I would say, also paramount that you all work as a team, collaborate not only with your team members, but with also cross-functional teams. And lastly, how do you want to plan your career? So corporate life doesn't mean just getting a job, right? It also means growing in your career, right? How do you want to grow in your career and develop yourself, develop your personality so that you are growing in the corporate ladder? I'm sure every one of you sitting here would like to grow in the corporate ladder. I know I'm talking to the future leaders, future corporate leaders, right? So that's what we'll be covering today in the next 4 hours. So I'll be requiring your active cooperation, support, I would say, in order to complete all the topics. How do you find these topics? Right. So can I look forward for your support and active cooperation for that? Yes, sir. So remember, we have just 4 hours with us. 4 rather, or 3.5 hours rather, not even 4. Right. So let us try and pick up the first one, which is all about professional communication skills. Right. So when I talk of professional communication skills, it's all about, what are those essential skills which are required for me in the workplace. See, I come from maybe my academics, maybe I have done my schooling, my 12th, my maybe graduation in a particular institution, right? So where I have used my communication skill, maybe it wasn't required that much, but as you move on into the corporate world, you have to use your communication skill to a much larger extent. Maybe you have to make presentations to your team members, to your stakeholders, to your senior leaders, right? To the leadership team, right? And also to get into the corporate world, you have to take part in group discussions, right? Interviews. So communication skill plays such a vital role, right? So we'll try and dwell a little bit more on this, right? So when I talk of communication skill, right, it entails two things. One is verbal, the other is non-verbal, right? Can I also know from some of you about what is that non-verbal that we are talking about? So the best way of participation is to raise the hand so that I'll reach out to you, right? The best way of participation is raise the hand, right? So what is the non-verbal that we are talking about? What comes under non-verbal? Yeah.
What's our action?
What is the non-verbal that we are talking about?
So non-verbals are like our actions and our
Action.
expressions, body language.
Okay, body language and?
Expressions.
Expression.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And our hand movements.
Hand movement, okay.
Yes, sir.
That's part of the body language, right?
Yes, sir.
What else? What else? Anyone would like to add on to what she's saying? She spoke about body language, hand movement.
So gestures.
Yeah, this is all body language, right? What else? What else? Eye contact is all body movement, body language, right? Apart from body language, what else? What else? I think I'll be more comfortable down. I'll be more comfortable. Okay, thank you, thank you. What else comes under non-verbal? What else comes under non-verbal?
So emotions.
Emotion, okay. Communication. Emotion is something which you go through. What comes under non-verbal apart from body language?
I think it will like mailing emails.
Sorry?
We use emails to our seniors. So
Emails?
Yeah.
We are talking about
It's
when I'm talking
communication.
to you. Okay, I'll make it more simpler, friend. I'll make it more simpler. So I'll say it once again. So when I'm talking to you, this is the communication, right? So from one person to another person. So when there's a communication happening between two people, right? When we look at the power of communication, it can have three things. One is verbal, the other two are non-verbal. I'm giving you some clues. One is verbal, the other two are non-verbal. So there are three pillars to the power of communication, right? One is obviously my verbal part, which I'm talking to you. I'm using certain words, which is the verbal part. Yeah, I'm seeing some hands going up, yeah. Appearance is again the grooming part of it. We are not looking at the appearance. I said I'm talking to you. When I'm talking to you, yeah. Can I have a shake hand with you? Wonderful, wonderful, excellent. Can we put our hands together for him? Wonderful, wonderful. So my friend, your good name? Prajwal. So Prajwal is talking about the third component, which is the tonality. So when I'm talking to you, there are three components which actually are building up the power of communication. One is obviously the verbal part, the words that I'm using to talk to you. The second component is the tonality. The tonality, the tone which I'm using. The tone is the pause, the punch, right? The inflection, when I give a pause and then raise my voice, right? Pause, punch, that's the tonality, the tone that I'm using to talk to you. And the third part is the body language. Body language will have facial expression, will have my body movements, right? Because remember one thing, when I'm talking to you, my body also talks. When I'm talking to you, my body also talks. So body also communicates or conveys the message which I'm trying to talk to you, right? So if you see any of the leaders, global leaders, if you take our own Prime Minister, when you mute the message and just see only Narendra Modi on the screen, you will see his beautiful body talking. His body talking. His body language, the way he communicates, he looks from this end to the other end. So body language also plays a very important role, right? So when you look at the power of communication, it is said that the verbal part of it is just 7%. The verbal part of it, the weightage is just 7%. Remaining 93% is non-verbal, right? So the remaining 93% is non-verbal. If you look at the elements of personal communication, 7% is spoken, 38% is the voice and tonality, 55% is the body language. What does it mean? Yeah, any thoughts here? What does it mean? By the way, this is a concept given to us by Albert Mehrabian. Albert Mehrabian. If you Google Albert Mehrabian, you will get his entire work, what he has done on the power of communication. What does it mean when I say 93% is non-verbal in the power of communication? Yeah.
Jai Hind sir, Rishi here.
Yeah.
Sir, this stats remind me of a quote that actions speak louder than words. So yeah, this reminds me of that only.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm not just looking at communication. Remember, I'm looking at the power of communication. I'm looking at effective communication. There is a difference between communication and effective communication, right? So I'm looking at effective communication, not just communication alone, right?
Jai Hind sir, I'm Ishika Kulkarni. Body language can be like showing respect.
Showing?
Respect.
Not necessarily. I mean, body language is how your body communicates. When I'm
Like-
talking to you, my body is communicating, right?
Okay, like
So it is body, when the body is trying to communicate what I'm saying.
if a senior is going and the employee is standing and like respecting, like
Okay, fine,
That
fine.
can be one.
Let me make it very simple and try to explain it. Just hold on for some time. I'll try and give a demo. Maybe you can correct very well and then see the difference, how, each of them are different. Right. Have you heard of a campaign by Amitabh Bachchan who was campaigning for pulse polio? Yes. What did he say at the time? दो बूंद और उसके पहले right. So he was given a very short line. He was given a very short line to communicate, right? The line that was given to him for the pulse polio campaign was सिर्फ दो बूंद जिंदगी के लिए. Right? This was the line which was given to him, right, in the pulse polio campaign. You all must have heard it, right? Because we wanted to eradicate polio from the country, right? So how did he communicate this? He got, of course, lots of payment also for this, for just one line. How did he communicate this? Right. If you have seen him, fine. Otherwise, I'll try and try to copy Amitabh Bachchan the way he was saying, right? So he went on to say that सिर्फ दो बूंद जिंदगी के लिए. What are you seeing in this? I'll repeat again. सिर्फ दो बूंद जिंदगी के लिए.
So the tone, the pitch, the way he's stressing at the point, सिर्फ दो बूंद, and then in a simpler language, जिंदगी के लिए is explaining it all together. So that was the way he.
Right. Wonderful. That was the tonality. Body language.
So the gesture, the expression, and the people of India looking him upon.
Body language is the way my body is communicating. The way my body is communicating is the body language. Yeah. Jai Hind.
So the way he expressed the fingers in front of people, like he mentioned two like this, and that is when he got the attention of people that he is communicating to.
Right, wonderful. So that is body language, friends. So when you observe people, when you observe your own self, should I stop? So the best thing that will try and practice is, if someone is talking, then because there is one voice in the hall, I'll stop and allow the other person to complete, then we'll continue. Right, so let us practice that for some time. When you observe your own self, or when you observe any person, when they are speaking, you will also observe that the body also speaks. Body also speaks. When I'm saying this, my body is speaking, right? So when you're doing this, your body is speaking, right? So when you're doing any shrugging of the shoulders, when you're doing any facial expression, that's all body speaking. That is as much as 55%. The tonality, the pause, punch, when I'm, the emotion that I'm bringing in, sirf do boond. Uske baad, after that, I'm saying, zindagi ke liye. Look at the emotions which are coming in zindagi ke liye, as if I'm trying to appeal to you. Sirf do boond was an attention getter, where I'm trying to get your attention. Is it not? Look at my tone that time. Then after that, I'm using a pause, and then I'm talking about, the zindagi ke liye is I'm appealing to people emotionally for the sake of life. When I say for the sake of life, look at my tone, right? When I say just 2 drops, look at my tone, right? So that is 38%, friends. So what I'm trying to say here is, when you start communicating, be mindful of these 3 elements of effective communication, not just communication, right? So what you speak, the way you construct your sentence is just the verbal part of it, the words that you are using from your vocabulary bank. We all have got a vocabulary bank. So we pick up some words from our vocabulary bank, which is just 7%. And look at the other components, which is body language as well as the tonality, which constitutes 93%, right? So it means that I need to be mindful of what's the tonality that I'm using. What's the body language that I'm using? Is it aligned to what I'm trying to say, right? So it also means that body language is the one which has got a tremendous, I would say, weightage. Can we all be mindful of our own body language and the tonality from now onwards? Yes, sir. Right? Wonderful. Thank you so much. And this tonality and the body language that you use also will reflect the kind of behavior that you demonstrate. You also have been hearing, maybe in the personal space or in the professional space, people demonstrating a behavior which is assertive behavior. Some people who are demonstrating passive behavior. Some people demonstrate aggressive behavior. Have you heard this? Yes. People who are very aggressive, right? They are very pushy. They raise the voice. They are not bothered about others' emotions. They want to get the things done. They will shout at people. Aggressive nature. Look at the tone. Look at the body language. How it will be. Have you observed it any time? Yes, sir. Right. Then there is passive behavior. Passive behavior is the one where the person is very submissive. Right? He doesn't want to hurt people. He doesn't want to, I would say no to others. Right? He is very submissive, apologetic at times. Look at the tone and body language that time. How will it be? Right. Now we are coming to the third one, which is the one which we all need to be demonstrating it. The third behavior is assertive behavior. What exactly is assertive behavior? Yeah. What is assertive behavior? Jai Hind. Wonderful, wonderful, excellent, excellent. What else? What else? What is assertive behavior? So we have seen aggressive, we have seen passive. What is assertive? Okay. Only one hand went up. Right. Assertive behavior is the one what she rightly said, when the person is confident, when the person direct, when the person is communicating very clearly with confidence. Right. Sometimes, you may be knowing, you may not be knowing at times. You just see the tonality of a person who doesn't know the answer. When you are being asked the question, if you are not knowing the answer, what will be a tonality that time? What will be your body language that time? Haji? Okay. Your tonality drops down. Body language is, shoulders drooping, is it not? That is a passive behavior. So all I'm trying to say is, whether you know or whether you do not know, you need to be demonstrating assertive behavior all the time. It means when you are not knowing the answer, sir, I am not able to recall the answer right now. Is it okay if I revise once again and come back to you on this? Look at my tone. Am I giving respect to my sir or not? Yes, sir. How is my body language? Right. So I need to be demonstrating confidence and body language in a situation even where I'm not able to express my self and responding to the answers. Many times you will find in a similar situation, people will demonstrate passive behavior, right? Their tonality comes down, sir, I'm not very clear, sir, I'm not able to recall, sir. Their tonality, drops down, energy drops down, body language, shoulders start drooping. So all I'm trying to say is, try and practice assertive behavior every time. Not just when you are knowing the answer or when you are able to present something with confidence. Even at a time when you are not knowing the answer or when you are not able to solve a problem or when you have to make a presentation, every time demonstrate assertive behavior, right? It means you need to be confident, you need to be direct, you need to be respecting a person. But your tonality and body language should not be drooping down, right? So a person who is assertive can also express his or her desires, feelings, needs and concerns, right, without any embarrassment to others. It means I'm giving respect to the other person, right? And sometimes when you're working, as a team, other person will try to come and say, can you do this also for me? I'm already overloaded with my own work, right? I've got a lot of projects to work on. My plate is full. How do I convey this to him or her? Can I do it in an assertive way or in an aggressive way, or it can be done in a passive way as well? Right? Can we have one example of an assertive way? You are already working on a project and you're packed with a lot of project work, and the other guy comes and tells you, can you do this for me? Yeah.
Hello, Rishabh Jain here. So we can convey our message in a way that first we should communicate our own priorities.
I am asking you to do something and you have to convey to me now.
Okay. So, sir, as you are saying me to do this, but right now I am already engaged in some other work. Let me know if I get, check my schedule. If I get the time, then I'll do it.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent, excellent, excellent. So look at his tonality, look at his body language, right? It means I understand your concern. I'm saying I understand your concern to get this done, but my day is already packed with a lot of things and I am already tied up with a lot of other project works which I am part of, for which there is a deadline involved. Is it okay if I attend to you after completing my project work or the work that I have in hand? Is it okay with you? Look at the tone, look at the body language. So what I'm saying is, even, sit. Thank you so much, wonderful. So even those situations, you need to be maintaining your tonality and body language. Possible? Yes, sir. Try it out, right? As I said, your aircraft is standing on the runway. You have got just 2 years to take off, and you can't be practicing it in the last sem. You have to start practicing it from now onwards, right? You can regulate your own feelings and emotions even when the situations are difficult. I gave you that example, right? And aware of needs and desires of others. As I said, I understand your concern to get it done. I understand your concern of doing this for you. Means I'm trying to, become aware of the needs of others. But at the same time, I'm conveying that, is it okay if I attend to you after completing my work on hand? Is it okay with you? Obviously, the other person will say yes, right? And can conserve and work well with other people at all levels. It means when you are assertive in your own behavior, you are becoming ready to work as a team, right? Because you are understanding the emotions of others, you are understanding the concern of others, and you are also respecting them and working as a team, all right? And can disagree with others and continue to retain friendship and respect and agree to disagree, right? It may also so happen whether you are working as a team, sometimes you work as a project team, right? Sometimes you, in the corporate life, of course, you also work as a team, you work in the projects. It may also so happen that your thoughts may not be aligned to each other. People can have different perspectives. What do you do that time? You will have disagreements. How do you work as a team when there are disagreements? So we need to respect the perspectives of each other and agree to disagree and move on. And express yourself with assertiveness. Is it okay if we can agree to disagree? Yes. I respect your perspective where you're coming from, right? Is it okay if we can respect each other's perspective and then move on? Look at the tone, all right? So, right, express what you think and feel in a positive way, create mutual respect is what assertiveness is all about. And how do I become more assertive? What is it that I should be doing more of if I have to become assertive? Use appropriate tone of voice. Number 1, be mindful, be cognizant, be aware of the tonality that you are going to use. Observe your own tonality, how it is it aligned to what you are saying, right? Or is it becoming more passive, more submissive, right? Be aware of your own body language, right? It should also be conveying that as if you are assertive at the time and not, becoming more passive or submissive. Of course, don't miss out the eye contact. Why is it important not to miss out the eye contact? Sorry? Show the confidence, okay? Shows the interest, confidence, connection, okay? Okay, got it, wonderful. So maintain the eye contact even at a time when there can be some disagreements in the perspectives as well. Disagreement means, no two human beings will have the same perspective, because everyone will have different perceptions. So when the perspectives are different, we need to respect each other's perspective, maintain the eye contact, and move on to work as a team by agreeing to disagree. All right? Use more of I statement to express yourself. I understand your concern. I respect your requirement. I'm using I. I know where you're coming from. I know that it is required for you urgently. I know this is something which is of utmost importance for you, right? I am right now tied up with my other jobs which I have to complete by end of the day today and submit. Is it okay if I attend to this after completing my task on hand? Everywhere I'm using I. So don't miss out on that I part of it. And of course, take the ownership and encourage others to be clear and direct as well. So assertiveness is all about being direct, being confident, right? Using the right tonality and body language. And as I said, start practicing from now onwards. Your time starts now. And when you start making presentations, when you start working as a team, when you talk to your senior leaders in the corporate life or here itself, right? You will also be demonstrating your assertive behavior all the time. Are we on the same page? Yes. Wonderful. Right, I want one person who can support me with the time as well. What time we are going for break? 3:45. Who is the person who is going to help me out with 3:45? We should not overshoot the time. You will raise the hand the time? Okay, wow. Thank you so much. We have still half an hour. Right, so now let us, now we are getting into one more important aspect. The important aspect here is the kind of thoughts that we have in our mind. As I said, our human mind is like a RAM which keeps on working, right? A lot of thoughts keep on coming. What do these thoughts do? These thoughts make us develop some emotions. We get positive emotions, we get negative emotions, right? These emotions are the ones which will drive our behavior. I repeat again, a lot of thoughts keep coming to the human mind. These thoughts are the ones which will drive our emotions, maybe positive or negative emotions. Emotions are the ones which will make us behave in a particular way in which we behave, right? So have a look at this. When you get a negative thought in the mind, right, what it does, it obviously brings the low esteem. I'm not good enough. I cannot be doing this. I have not done presentation in the past. I can't come here and talk to people. I'm not good at presentations. I'm not of that type. I've not been making presentations. I'm not of that type. I can't talk to people. I can't make a PPT. I can't present a PPT to sir. You know, low esteem. What will it do? It will make your expectations also to fail. And obviously the result is a failure. Look at the converse of this. What if I fill my mind with positive thoughts? What will happen if I fill my mind with positive thoughts? High self-esteem, expectation to succeed, and obviously you will succeed. Is it not? Right. So it also means the converse of that is, if you fill your mind with positive thoughts, I can do it. I am capable of doing it. Right. If that guy can do, I can also do. Right. I will learn to do it. Let me also make an attempt to do it. I will practice and do it. I'm filling my mind with all the positive affirmations that I can do it. Let me try and do it. I'm capable of doing it, right? So when you fill your mind with positive thoughts, it is leading to positive emotions, and obviously the positive behaviors. It is leading to highest self-esteem, expectation to succeed, and you will actually succeed. So what is it that we should be doing now more of? What is it that we should be doing? Positive? Fill your mind with positive thoughts, right? Remember, the negative thoughts come very easily to the human mind. As I said, 70 to 80% of the thoughts that we get are negative. It's quite natural. It's very obvious. It's very easy for the human mind to get negative thoughts. One failure is good enough for you to develop the negative thoughts, and you start overthinking on them, right? And you make a mountain out of the mole. But I'm saying, try and transform those negative thoughts into the positive one. You see the difference. And where does it originate from? What you start feeding to your mind. What you start feeding to your mind. If you feed positive thoughts, you see the results. So this is the, I would say, the circle, right? The chain. Positive thoughts leading to positive emotions leading to a positive behavior, right? And you will end up doing what you start visualizing. That's the power of visualization. You start visualizing, I can come here and make a presentation. I can maybe talk to 100 people. I can talk to 500 people. I will use, you close your eyes and start visualizing. There's the power of visualization. And when you come here and talk, you will definitely make an effective presentation. Start doing it, all right? Because as you grow, as you come into the corporate world, as you start growing in the corporate world, as you become a leader and future leaders, right? You will have to make presentations, you will have to talk to people, you will have to manage people. And that's where all these things are going to help you, all right? And I know there may be a lot of nerves, is it not? होती है ना थोड़ी anxiety, थोड़ी nervousness तो होती है? Yes, sir. बिल्कुल होती है. Yes, sir. I'm no different, right? I am not, I'm no different. So what is it that I can do about it? Let me share some tricks and tips, right? So the number one is acknowledge that nervousness. Yes, I would call it as an anxiety, right? A bit of anxiety is there to everyone, including the CEOs and the prime ministers and the presidents. They are also made of bone and flesh, right, and blood. They are not robots. The CEOs and managing directors and prime ministers. Oh, not many, huh? You do? Wow, wonderful. So I would request and suggest every one of you to start utilizing this wonderful power of visualization. It means before you venture into something, before you try to do something, try and visualize what it is going to happen, right? What is it that you are going to do? What is it that you want? Like, for example, I'll give my own example. I was entering into the seminar hall just about an hour back. So the moment I entered and came here, I was visualizing that I'll be standing here and talking to all my friends here, right? I'll try and present all my thoughts and ideas to you all, and then I'll try and make an impact and maybe try and convey all my thoughts and feelings to you. That's what I was trying to visualize. And the possibility is, more often than not, you will succeed in what you are visualizing. So try and use that power of visualization. You are making a presentation, right? You will make presentations, right, as you move on. So visualize that you are going to make an effective presentation, that you visualize that your presentation is going to be appreciated by your sir. More often than not, it will happen. Anticipate what could go wrong, right? I was anticipating, I came a little early here because I know, okay, I need to check all the devices and see that, everything is working well. Anticipate or preempt any problem that may come up while you are making a presentation. Maybe preempt what can go wrong, and be ready with your plan B, plan C and plan D. In case anything is not working out, what is the plan B for you? What is the contingency plan that you have in case anything is not working? And one way of overcoming the anxiety is to take a deep breath. Right, hold on for a few seconds and then release it. It means that you are providing more oxygen to your brain and then you are calming down yourself. All right, And of course, keep hydrating yourself. You see, I have been sipping myself. It means I need to hydrate myself. It is also required. Use humor and authenticity. It means that I need to bring authenticity. I need to be more authentic in what I'm saying. So when I'm saying I'm no different, I also go through anxieties, right? I'm being more authentic with you. At times you may cut a joke, but don't try to cut the joke on others. You can cut a joke on your own self. It should not be a silly joke. It should not be a Kapil Sharma show. But at the same time, you can bring some humor into your presentation, maybe a little humor to lighten up the mood. Right? Sorry? And if you want to also practice, the best way is to practice in front of a mirror, or maybe in the room, or maybe run the slides, or maybe run your presentation in the room all by yourself, or maybe to your friend or to your colleague or to your peer. You may practice. Practice, practice and practice. Nothing can replace that. Nothing can replace practice. And practice, I would say, practice in the mind. Practice in the mind means if you are making a presentation to your sir or to the HOD or to the professors, right? Use the power of visualization and practice in the mind. It means what is it that you are going to present? Everything should run in the mind as a dry run. And of course, dress comfortably and keep smiling. I know you all are good at smiling, so keep smiling. Right, wonderful. Now we are looking at characteristics of a good presentation, right? So content, delivery and diligences are the three heads under which we will be talking about group presentations. I am talking about this presentation because it will help you not only in your runway time, but also in your takeoff time. It means it will going to help you in the campus time, also in the corporate times. Because you do make presentations here, and of course you will be making presentations in the corporate life as well, right? So I know for sure that you will be doing a lot many things here, but just for the, I would say, cover up the good presentation, let us revisit some of the good practices here. The content that you are going to develop should be very concise and it should be clear, and make use of images as and when it is required, right? Delivery, we have talked about voice modulation, appropriate words, right, and body language. Remember 738-55? If you Google 738-55, you will find a lot of content there in the power of communication, right? Albert Mehrabian's. So the same thing is coming up here, right? In delivery, I would suggest one thing, try and expand your vocab bank. We all have got a vocabulary bank. Yes, sir. This is the right time for you to start depositing in your vocabulary bank and expand your vocabulary bank. It means any new word that you see or hear or read, become a little more curious to find out what does it mean. Try and use and apply that word in your own way, in your own life. That's how you add to your vocabulary bank, and that's how you keep depositing and expanding your vocabulary bank to make use of, right? And what is required is, from the vocabulary bank, we need to pick and choose the right word to convey the right message at the right time. And diligence is have that enthusiasm and interest in the subject as well, and show that curiosity, show that enthu, right? Bring that energy into what you're saying. Because when you come with energy, you are actually, I would say, spreading that energy, and it becomes so contagious to others. All right, shall we move on? I'm a little curious to know from you, which are the ones which you are doing in your presentations these days? Or what is it that you want to take away from here? What is it that you are currently doing? Yeah. Yeah. True, what I'm curious to know is, what is it that you're currently doing? Number one, what is it that you want to start doing?
Currently, I'm focusing on content, and I will surely be try to do in a more diligence way.
Okay, so you are working on content, you have to take care of diligence as well. Wow, wonderful. What else? Any other voice? What is it that you are currently doing? What is it that you want to start doing? Yeah.
I have been doing content and partially delivery.
Okay, so what is it that you want to start doing now onwards?
Right now I want to get better delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll focus more on how to cause interest in the subject and as similarly interest in the audience.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful, excellent, excellent. So I would request you all to reflect on these two things. What is it that you are doing currently from this CDD, content, delivery and diligence? You may be doing certain things. It's not that everything is new to you. You may be doing certain good things, right? What is it that you want to start doing from here, from now onwards? And lastly, I'd like to also talk about one thing. When you are making a presentation to your sirs, ma'ams, and also maybe the professors, HODs, and see who are all sitting in the audience. You will have a group of audience.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, understand who are your audience. What do they want from you? What is the purpose of you making a presentation? The purpose should be very clear. Analyze the audience. We call it as an audience analysis. Analyze the audience. Who are my audience? What are they here for? What do they want from me in the time that you are given? Right? And what is the purpose of you making a presentation? So if these things are clear to you, you will be aligned completely to what you're doing. All right? Right, wonderful. Chalo, let's move on. And now we are coming to one more important thing. Email etiquettes. Are we all ready for emails? I know that we have been sending a lot of emails. Do you also send emails to each other? Do you? No. Currently, no. But in future, I'm sure you'll be doing. Not in a formal way. All those chats. Right. As you get into the runway of this campus life, as you move out of the campus and get in the corporate world, the use of emails will become more and more common, right? More and more important and more regular, right? So you need to be understanding, okay, what is this email communication is all about? What is the kind of etiquette that I need to be following when you are getting into the campus world or when you are into the professional world? All right. So there are certain etiquettes that we need to be mindful of, and the best way of learning and practicing is make a beginning now itself. So when you're sending a mail out to any of your friends or anyone, start practicing all the email etiquettes from now itself. What you have done so far is your past, but what you're going to do from now is you're preparing yourself to be a future leader. Right. So when you're sending out an email, see that there is a subject line very clearly mentioned about what is this mail all about. So subject line is the one which people see first in their inbox. So subject line should be attracting to them, should be conveying the content, what it is. It should not be just say hi or something of that sort. And begin with, what is the purpose of you writing a mail, right? Of course, you, dear so-and-so, the salutations are there, then you say, what is the purpose? Has to be very clearly mentioned in the email, right? And choose an appropriate tone. The way we use a tone when we are talking, even when you are sending out a mail, there is a particular tone. The kind of words that you use to construct a mail also conveys the tone that you are using. So be mindful of the tone that you are going to use, right? We cannot be sarcastic in our emails. Sometimes people are sarcastic in their emails, because remember one thing, that email, once it is sent out, you can't take it back. You can, of course, there is a provision of recalling the mail, but all I'm trying to say is this email can be forwarded to anyone in the world, right? And this email, once it is forwarded, it is beyond your control. It can go to anyone. So we need to be mindful of that. What is the kind of choice of words that I'm using? What is the choice of word that I am using in constructing a mail? So the best thing is construct a mail, put it in the draft, leave it as it is, come back again after some time, read the draft as if you are the receiver. As if you are the receiver. Once you are convinced, how will you feel if you are receiving such a mail? How is it landing with you? And once you are convinced that you are getting the right message with the right tone, right, for the right action, then you send it out. And request for that action. I think we have discussed this. Use headlines, action requested, and the next steps. All right. There are certain etiquettes. Sometimes we see people using all caps. We used? Sorry? Right. So when we use all caps, it's, remember one thing, it's aggressive to the eyes. Our eyes are not used to reading all caps. It's an aggression. So avoid all caps every time, right? Use bold, italics, underline only for emphasis at times when it is required, not all the time. Avoid some fancy bullets. Use an attachment only when it is necessary. Spell check. Do we do the spell check after writing a mail? Yes, wow, wonderful, excellent. Reply all when it is required, and do not send this chain emails whenever it is required. Don't do reply all if it is not required. Be mindful of that, okay? Let us listen to one of the video. Any of you are making a note, or should I wait for some time? I know that some of you are making notes. In case it is required, I'll wait for a while. Let's have a look at one video about what email etiquette is all about. All right, is it okay if we have a look at the video? Just a short video for 2-3 minutes. Right, and here it goes.
Email. It's both a major convenience and a ceaseless distraction. But regardless of how you feel about it at the present moment, one thing's for sure. It's an unavoidable necessity. Chances are, you can't make it through a workday without composing at least one email. The basics. When you build a house, you start with the basement. So before we dive into the specific sections of your email, let's take a look at the fundamentals. If you're sending from a personal address, for a job application or informational interview, for example, make sure your address is still professionally sounding. You'd want to make the right impression, and partyboy123@gmail.com isn't just going to cut it. If you've received an angry message or are feeling enraged yourself, step away from the computer for a few minutes. Firing off something in the heat of the moment will only result in problems. Include a friendly greeting and closing. It makes your entire message feel more complete, polished, and professional. Proofread. Enough said. Timing. Effective timing is one of those things that's all too easy to forget about when you're doing your best to power your way through your inbox. But if you've ever received an immediate one-word response to a thoughtful, lengthy message, or you've waited weeks to get a reply you were anxiously waiting for, I think you'll agree that timing is worthy of a little more consideration. As a general rule, respond to emails as soon as you're realistically able to. You don't want to leave people hanging. If the message deserves a little more time and thought, try not to fire off an immediate response just to get it off your plate. Instead, reply and confirm that you've received it, and notify the sender that you're going to take a little bit of time to think things through. One tip to help you keep your responses in check is that the faster you respond, the shorter your answers should be. Recipients. Seemingly endless email chains. Coworkers who continue to CC you on messages that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Those teammates who seem to have no clue what that handy BCC field is for. They're all things that you probably gripe about, at least when other people commit them. But let's turn the spotlight on you for a minute. Have you gone against any of these etiquette rules in regard to your recipient list? Proceed with caution when using reply all, and only use it when everyone in that thread needs to be updated. You've been warned. Don't be afraid to use BCC, especially in the instances when you don't want all of the addresses or recipients to be visible to everyone. Here's a handy rule to keep in mind. Listing someone in the to field means that you expect a response. In contrast, if you CC that person, you're simply keeping him in the loop of your message to others. With all of that said, the fewer people you can include on an email, the better. Too many cooks in the kitchen will likely just lead to confusion and crossed wires.
All right, wonderful. So what is it that you want to start doing differently now onwards? What is it that you would like to start doing differently from now onwards? Yeah. Sorry? BCC. What is it that you will do with BCC? Use BCC, when you don't want your receivers to know whom you are copying, right? Wonderful. Avoid reply all only when it is, use reply all only when it is required, otherwise no, not. Right? So these are some of the email etiquettes which will be useful for you in your campus life, right? And which you can start inculcating now itself, so that when you get into the corporate world, right, it will become your habit. All right? I'm also looking at the clock now, it says 3:45. Who was my timekeeper? 3:45? Is our break time? We'll come back at 4:15. It means let us come to an agreement. 4:14 is the time when everyone will be on the seats. 4:15 is the time when the aircraft doors will close and the flight will take off. All right? Chalo. Enjoy. Yeah. Can we all settle down? Welcome back, everyone. Good to see you all back in the seats. Yeah. Before we move on, just want to have a quick feedback about you all. How is it going so far? From the time that we all started off at 2:30.
Can we put a little up?
So I am wondering what is so great about it when I'm hearing this word called great. What is so great about it? Yeah. Okay, interactive. Okay. What else? What is so great about this word called great? Sorry? Interesting. Okay. Interesting, interactive.
Focusing on minute details.
Sorry?
Focusing on minute details.
Focusing on minute details. Okay, wonderful. So good to get these feelers from you, because I would like to know, okay, how is it going on so far? What is it that we can do differently in the available time for us? Oh, it's already 4:30. We have another 2 hours with us. We can go until what time? 6:30, 6:45? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me that extra time of 15 minutes. Right. Let us go on to the second part of the agenda. I have got a simple solution. Because there can be only one voice, I will stop. Wait for the person to speak. Right. So we'll go on to the next part of the agenda. Right. The second part of the agenda is corporate environment. So we were discussing about what corporate life is all about. I see that at least I think 20% of you come with a corporate experience, those who have worked in some organizations, right? So for the benefit of everyone, we should also know, okay, what is the structure of a higher corporate, organization, and what's the kind of culture that exists. And if you look at organizations, every organization will have its own, value systems. It will have its own vision. It will have its own mission, right? We should be aware of that. If you are getting into an organization, or maybe if you are applying, or if they are coming here for the placements, right? You should also be studying that. If you are appearing for, a company which has come here for placement, you should go fully prepared. Which is the organization that you are appearing for? From that time, you need to be ready with your own preparation. Get into the website of that organization. Every organization will have their own websites, right? So you can go into visit their websites, be a little more curious to learn about that organization background, right? Who are the owners, right from that time, and then what is the kind of value system this organization works on, right? Value system means how do they do business? What are their vision? What is the vision of an organization? What is the vision of an organization? One voice at a time, one voice. Right. And where do they want to reach in future? What is mission of an organization? Mission. Yeah. That is a vision. We are looking at, vision and mission.
Short-term goals which company has to achieve.
Mission. Yeah. What change they want to make? See, we are looking at vision and mission. Vision is very clear. Where they want to reach. Sorry? Mission cannot be the networks part of it. See, mission is something which, how they want to reach to their vision. Exactly, the pathway or how they want to reach their vision, right? So they have got a vision. Please have a seat, please have a seat. So they have got a vision, right? So their vision is to, please have a seat, please have a seat. If their vision, if this is a healthcare company, right? So they want to touch many lives and provide a better quality of life to the people, right? Suppose I'm just giving some of one example. Suppose the vision of a healthcare company is to reach out to the masses and to provide a better healthcare or better quality of life to the people. Is it not? If this is a vision, then mission can be, how are they going to do it? Right, there's a how part of it. And vision is, value system is, how are they going to do their business is the value system. So I should be aware. I would suggest that from the third sem or from the fourth sem, when do the placements happen here? Third sem. So from the third sem onwards, when you start, when the placements start happening, that is the time then when you start looking at which company is coming here for placement and all. You start visiting the websites and start looking at all these things. What are the values and beliefs of an organization which is coming here? Go fully prepared. Visit their website and look into all the details and be prepared, right? So if you speak the same language to the people who are coming here to interview you, they will also get impressed. Okay, this is one person who is well aware of my organization, right? And you should also be knowing what is the kind of norms that they have, what is the behavior interaction, what is the simple artifacts means, what is the dress code that company has. In the campus, you have got a dress code. In many of the organizations, whether it's a multinational, Indian multinational, we have got Indian multinationals, an Indian company also having its offices abroad, operations abroad, and then you have got a Indian organization, then you have got a startups, then you have got a family organization, so on and so forth. So every organization has its own culture. Every organization has its own, rituals, dress codes and office layouts, which has to be respected, right? They are right in their own way. So I need to be aware, what is the kind of culture that is existing in that organization? Is there any dress code? Some organizations have a formal from Monday to Thursday, right? Friday is the casual day, right? Casual wear day. Of course, Saturday, Sunday is off. So I should be aware of that. Right? In some organizations, they don't bother about the dress code at all. So jeans, t-shirt, anything chalega, right? Only thing is come clothed, right? And then we need to be also aware of what is the kind of phrases and jargons and abbreviations that they use in their organization, and what is the kind of work environment which is there in that organization. I should be aware of, and in order to settle down faster, right? It's also important for me to understand what is the kind of hierarchy this organization has. Hierarchies, we are all familiar? Yes, sir. Right from the head of the organization, the CEO or the managing director, right, who are there in the board of directors, and then from then there can be different business units, there can be different business verticals, right? So each of the business unit, each of the verticals will also have their own hierarchies, right? And you should also be aware who comes under which hierarchy. In multinationals, it may also so happen that there can be a manager sitting in Pune office, reporting to a line manager sitting in Europe or sitting in Singapore. Their line manager sitting in Singapore office. What do they do? For administrative purpose, they may have a daughter reporting to a admin manager of a Pune office. But while for their role, they may be reporting to a manager sitting in Singapore office. Because today we are in a remote world, right? And this is how the hierarchies work. I should also be aware that sometimes you may also work in a cross-functional hierarchies. It means if you are working in a project, you may be in HR, but you may be working with a guy in finance, you may be working with a guy in legal, you may be working with some people in sales and marketing, right? So, and maybe you can work with a guy in sales, supply chain, or maybe in distribution team, so on and so forth. So sometimes you may have to work as a cross-functional team as well. Good to have the diversity and inclusivity. So I should be aware how the hierarchies work. Right. I also wanted to say one thing in the beginning. In case, during the next 2 hours that we are going to be together, if you have any doubt at any point of time that we are discussing, feel free to raise your hand and raise your doubt. All right. Don't keep it till the last. At any point of time, on any particular slide or anything that we are discussing, if you have got any iota of doubt, anything that you want to clarify or anything that you want to add on, feel free to raise your hand and shoot. All right? Right, this is something which is very important. I think you will have a similar session day after tomorrow, right? But I'm not going to touch more about it. I'll leave it for day after tomorrow. Professional etiquettes and behaviors. This is something that we need to be cognizant of. We need to respect that, and we need to be aware. What is the way in which I should carry myself? How do I groom myself? How do I carry myself? What is the kind of behavior that I should be demonstrating in a corporate world? I would suggest that, the discipline part of it starts here. And I could see all of you to be so much disciplined. When you have got a strong value systems here, when you have got a strong discipline here, it continues. But quickly try and understand what is the kind of etiquettes and behaviors which are there in that organization that you're getting into, right? So you should be aware, okay, what is the channel of communication which happens in a particular organization, right? How do I groom myself? What's the kind of timings, punctuality, right? I have also been getting into different corporates, because I'm a corporate trainer. So I visit different sectors and different organizations, different industries. So I was talking to one of the employees in a multinational, of course. They are working remote, right? Remote means they don't go to office. They go to office hardly, I think, 1 day in a week or maybe 2 days in a week. It's 2+3 or 3+2 as they call it. So their work login, logout is not sacrosanct. It's not 9 to 5. So their manager says the job has to be done. That project has to be completed. So whether you log in at 9 or 9:30 doesn't matter, as long as you are working on a project and improving the efficiency and productivity. So that is how their company works, right? And people don't mind stretching themselves and working long hours also, because they have got a flexibility of timing. But some companies don't have that flexibility, right? If a guy logs in at maybe 9:10, that is marked as late. So I need to be also respecting that culture. What is the way in which this company operates? And that's how punctuality is: respect and courtesy, teamwork and responsibility and accountability. I think we have been discussing these points, right? And the professional, when you get into the corporate world, the ask in the professional world is ASK. The ask is the ask. I would say when you get into the corporate world, the ask is the ask. So what is the ask? Attitude, skill and knowledge. So knowledge is something that you are all acquiring here. Knowledge is something which you are all acquiring these 2 years, right? Skill is something which is nothing but the competency, the way you do it. I would suggest that you develop skills simultaneously, upskill yourself. We are in the era of reskilling, of unlearning and learning, relearn. Heard of this? We are in the era of unlearn and relearn, right? So try and unlearn as fast as possible, try and relearn as soon as possible, right? So if you unlearn and relearn, you are adapting yourself, you are becoming more updated. Otherwise, you will be left behind, because things are changing so fast. When it comes to technology, when it comes to advancements, it's happening, changing so fast. By the time you come out of the campus, maybe some new technology advancements would have happened. You need to adapt yourself, you need to update yourself, you need to unlearn and relearn yourself quickly, right? So knowledge, skill and attitude is what I was talking about. The attitude to adapt, the attitude to unlearn and relearn. That's what you should be having all the time. Yeah, unlearn and relearn. Yeah, someone can help him. What is unlearn and relearn? Anyone can talk about unlearn and relearn? Thank you so much for asking. Yeah. Yeah, take the mic, please. Take the mic.
Jain sir, Rahul Pandey.
Yeah.
Learning is a particular term we refer to when you learn something which is not appropriate or which is wrong in terms of a particular thing, and we need to relearn that thing again.
Okay. Any more examples of this? Can you throw an example as well on this? What is the kind of example that you have in mind? You're right in saying that.
For example, if I've learned something like PowerShoot in Excel and I'm doing in a wrong term, on a wrong way, in a big way, and I need the shortcut to consume the time, to save the time, and my colleagues are helping me to relearn that thing. So that's one of the examples.
Okay. Any more ideas on this? Unlearn and relearn? Yeah. Jai Hind.
There is any certain activities that is not appropriate for the work, so So we should unlearn that and relearn that how to overcome about that if I am not punctual. So I have to relearn about that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes things are upgraded, like for example, technologies.
Use the mic, please. I would suggest use the mic.
Yeah. So sometimes there are upgradations and like new things coming into like technologies, and also sometimes we have to change what we actually have learned and then upgrade our skills basically upon those new technologies and upgradations.
Wonderful, wonderful. There's a classic example, your good name? Tanisha is talking about, you are used to one version of a technology that you are using in a platform, right? That version is now upgrading. You are getting some 2.0 version or 3.0 version. So you need to unlearn the previous version that you knew and relearn the new version which is getting updated. Is it becoming simpler now for you to understand? Yes, sir. Right? Because there is so much of advancements which are happening. There is so much of tech newnesses which are taking place. I was used to doing it in a particular way. So I need to unlearn that and relearn the new way of doing it, which is the new ways of working. Otherwise, I'll be left behind if I don't do that, because things are advancing, things are changing. There is so much of innovations which are happening around. I need to see what is the development which is taking place. I need to adapt myself. So unlearn and relearn is more about adaptation. By unlearning what is the old practice and relearn some of the new practices of doing things. Okay? Is it clear? Good that you have asked this point. Right. Now we are getting into another part which is more of the professional image. I think you will have a session day after tomorrow also on this. I am trying to cover some part of the professional image. Understand the importance of a professional image and how to cultivate it. Right. When it comes to the dressing for success, I see all of you are smartly dressed here. And you are all going to be in this campus for these 2 years, smartly dressed, right from Monday to Saturday. Is it not? Yes. When you leave the campus and go to the corporate world, obviously you will not have the same dress codes and uniform that you are having it here, right? But how would you like to carry yourself as far as the grooming is concerned? Is something we need to be aware of, right? Just because there is no uniform, you can't be putting on whatever you like, is it not? You need to groom yourself to success. So what are those do's and don'ts? These are all self-explanatory. I don't have to talk and explain anything here. Just have a look at them. Wear conservative dresses means we cannot be having anything flashy because it's not an evening party, right? You're not getting into an evening party, so you're getting into the office premises, so it has to be as per the requirement of the office culture, right? Wear a conservative hairstyle. Of course, there's nothing new in this. Look very crisp, use some deodorant, use makeup sparingly, right? Limit your jewelry, conceal tattoos if anything is there, right? Don't be flashy, don't wear hair too long, don't wear sneakers, don't douse yourself with perfume, don't wear too many earrings, or don't have tattoos, don't wear belts of different colors. So basically it means avoid distractions as much as possible, because what you're seeing here, one commonality here is the distraction. The way you carry yourself as far as the grooming is concerned, it should not be distracting people, because you are projecting yourself as a professional. People should look at you as a professional. People should form your image as a professional, right? The way you carry yourself, what do people do? They form a image, right? Let me give you an example here. Imagine there is a doorbell which is ringing in your house, right? And there is a cousin of yours, cousin of yours who has gone to the door and has answered. He says that there is a airline pilot who has come to our house. Airline pilot who has come to the house. What's the kind of image that you have, that you develop? The moment you hear this, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Tanisha? Right, what else? Hey, 1 minute, yeah. What else? Okay, what else? Right? Yeah. Well groomed. This image comes in your mind immediately. How long does it take? In no time, this image comes to your mind the moment you hear that an airline pilot has come to your house. Is it not? Because what has your mind done? You have created an image of an airline pilot in your mind. Similarly, the way you carry yourself in the corporate world, right, you are creating an image about yourself for others. And remember one thing, you are being watched all the time. The way you all are watching me right now, from head to toe. I know I am being watched, right? You will be watched from head to toe and people are forming images about you. And the owner's responsibility will be on you to create the image about you, how you want your image to be created. How you want to carry yourself. The way you are having an image about that airline pilot, what's the kind of image that you want others to have about you? Is what you can do, is what is in your hands, right? That's what is, dressing for success is all about. So, I would say one thing, that the moment you get into the corporate world, you are going to be a professional. It's not just a doctor is a professional, or maybe an engineer is a professional, or an architect is a professional. Every person who is getting into the corporate life is a professional. I would call the moment you get into the sales role, you are a sales professional. Is it not? You are a sales professional. I call this guy as a sales professional guy, because you know your domain much better than others. A doctor is a professional because he knows that domain better than others. So a professional guy is the one who knows the domain better than others. So how do you want to carry yourself as a professional? How do you want yourself to be looked at as a professional is up to you. And dress according to the, of course, audience circumstances and the corporate culture. Be mindful of what's the kind of culture my organization is having that time, and how will I carry myself that time. And one good thing for you all is, again I'm saying, okay, this discipline is getting inculcated from here itself for you. So you are used to this discipline, which I'm sure you will carry it forward in your corporate life as well. Right, and when you hear this word, thanda matlab? Thanda matlab? Coca-Cola, right? दूध सी सफेदी निर्मा से आए, right? So is it written on the pack of Nirma that दूध सी सफेदी? What are we doing in our minds? Branding. Sorry? Making an image. You are associating Nirma with something else. Is it not? You are associating Coca-Cola with something. Is it not? As a tagline. Right? So similarly, I would suggest one thing, that remember one thing, you are creating a brand of your own self. You are not an individual. You are a brand. You are creating that brand image about your own self. That starts from now. Your branding starts now. If any of your colleagues, any of your peer colleagues here, or any of your faculties wants to remember you, what image they will have in their mind about you is the kind of brand that you are going to create about your own self. How do you want to portray yourself? How do you want that image to be created? So what is the kind of brand that you want to create for your own self? Is for you to decide. Right? So I would suggest there are a couple of steps. Have a look into these steps and see what is it that you can do about it. First is assess your own self. It means look at your own unique strengths and areas of expertise. Very often when I ask people, what are your strengths, people actually struggle. Because not very often we reflect about our own strengths. We are only told about our own weaknesses. Is it not? That you're not good at this, you're not good at this. But you're also good at certain things. What are those good things that you are good at? One should be aware of it. I would suggest one thing. Weakness is something which everyone will have, every human will have on the world. But what are your strengths? Are you aware of about your own strengths? Is everyone aware of their own strengths? Yes. I'm not hearing from everyone. Yes, sir. Still I'm not hearing from everyone. I know the answer, right? Because sometimes, silence also speaks. Is it not? Right. So all I'm trying to say here is, Friends, reflect for a while. Try to look at your own strengths. Every one of you will have strengths. Every one of you. Reflect on your own strengths. What is it that you're good at? Try and leverage that strength. Strengths are meant to be leveraged. Are you really leveraging your strength? Ask yourself. Yes or no? Yes. Currently, are you leveraging your strength? Therefore, I got an answer. Right. So, two things. First is, do self-reflection. Try and figure it out. What is it that you are good at? Are you leveraging that strength of yours? What is it that you can do about it? Is what you need to look at, identifying your own strengths and skills. Right? Define your values, clarify your own core values and what you stand for. See, values are the ones which we all are grown with. In our own families, we have got our values. That, our fathers and forefathers, we have observed them. It has been going on since generations, which are non-negotiable in our families. Is it not? What are those values that you are believing in, which are non-negotiable? Is you need to be very clear about. And set your career goals. What is it that you want to become? As I said, your aircraft is there at the runway, right? And once the aircraft is about to take off, so you have got 2 years of runway, right? These 2 years will pass pretty fast. So what is it that you want to become once you come out of this campus? You can't be thinking in the 4th semester. I keep hearing people that, let me think about it. Every time I ask, I get the same answer, and the time flies. So have you made up your mind, what is it that you want to become? What is it that you are passionate about? It is also said that it's good to make your passion as your profession. Heard of this? Yes. So what is it that you are passionate about? Have you discovered it in your own self? Have you explored about your own self? What is it that you are passionate about? Are you looking at making that passion as your profession? Haji? Yes or no? So it's time to do that. Time to introspect, time to reflect. Do some self-talk, do some self-reflection. Try to figure it out, what is it that you are good at? What is it that you are passionate about? What are the options available for you in that arena to make it as your profession? Right? And remember today, in today's world, professions are not just doctors and engineers. There is a whole lot of world which is available for us to make our profession. So try and explore yourself. And what's the kind of brand statement? There's a very interesting word here called elevator pitch. We are used to elevators. Of course, you don't take elevators here. You walk faster on the steps here, I know. But what's an elevator pitch here? Any of you would like to make an attempt? Yeah. Wow. Say it again. Wow, wonderful, excellent. Can we all put our hands together for him? Excellent. It means from ground floor to the 4th floor, if you're going in an elevator, the time that elevator takes from ground to the 4th, in that time you should be able to pitch about your own self. That's the elevator pitch, right? It means, are you able to talk about your own self in that short time? What is your brand? What is your image? What is it that you stand for? What is it that you're good at? If, if a visiting faculty comes and talks to you, are you ready to do that elevator pitch about your own self? Who are you? What's the kind of brand that you are standing for? What's your value system? What's your brand proposition? What is it that you're passionate about? Because in elevator pitch, you don't get any time at all. In that short time, are you able to express yourself about your branding, right? Your image, your passion, and what is it that you want to become and do in life. In no time are you able to express yourself. That's the elevator pitch. Can we do that? Try it out, right? So you should be ready with this. And the next thing is the tagline. I spoke about Thanda Matlab. So what is it that, if I say Tanisha Matlab, people should be able to say that. Tanisha Matlab, dash, dash, dash. Are you ready to fill up that? Think about it. So when people hear the word Tanisha, they form an image. Tanisha Matlab, dash, dash, dash. So that is the kind of image that you should carry. And then I'm just taking one name because she talked about her name, right? So tagline is something which you are going to be known for. If people take your name behind you, right, in the absence of you, they should be able to form an image about you. What is it that you stand for? The moment, I said Thanda Matlab, you told the brand name. So similarly, the moment people take out your name, they should be able to figure it out. What is it that you stand for? Can we create that image about our own self and have a tagline? That I stand for this, I mean this, this is who I am. And you need to work towards that. Right, develop your online presence, right, wonderful. And now I'm coming to a very sensitive topic, I know. How many of us are social present here, have a strong social presence? Come on, yaar, I can't be seeing hands down here. I know everyone will have a strong social presence. Are nahi? Rest of them are not having social presence? No. You're not socially present. Social presence. Oh, this side. Oh. Right. Now let us see what does, can we settle down? I'll talk more about the social presence. What does social presence mean for a corporate guy? Right, it means not just, sending out messages on WhatsApp. It's not just, chatting with people on WhatsApp or maybe on Insta or maybe uploading some reels in Insta. It is beyond that. I'm not talking about uploading reels in Insta or maybe putting up some pictures in Facebook and all. I'm talking beyond that. I'm talking about these platforms. How do I leverage them? When I talk about Insta, it doesn't mean just reels. It just doesn't mean just uploading something. It means that's a platform which I can leverage as a professional, as a corporate professional. How do I do that? And your time starts now. Be it Insta, be it Facebook, or be it LinkedIn. Right, so how many of us are present on LinkedIn? Let me have a quick show of hands. Wow, everyone. Arre kya baat hai, lovely. Good to see all hands going up. Okay, let me ask thank you so much. Can I ask the other way around? How many of us are still not present on LinkedIn? None of us? Oh, wonderful. I think we all are present on LinkedIn. So am I. I'm also present on LinkedIn. Right. Feel free to get connected. Some of you are, I think, already connected to me, right? I see some of you are already connected to me. I'm there on LinkedIn. Of course, I visit LinkedIn every day, right? And have a professional profile picture of yours. It means that the way you want to be looked at as a professional. Remember the branding? How you want to be looked at? Your brand image. So have those pictures as a professional, in the social presence, and consistent name. And sometimes people use different names in different platforms. Remember one thing, when your recruiters are coming in the 3rd SEM or 4th SEM, before they come here, they would have already looked at you in the social media. I repeat again, in the 3rd SEM, before your recruiters see you face to face, they would have already seen you in the social media, right? And you are not going to be new for them. Maybe face to face you may be new, meeting them for the first time, but they are already knowing you. How? Through the social media, right? It means I need to have the same picture in everywhere, in whether you're there in LinkedIn, whether you're there in Insta or maybe Facebook or whatever it is, it has to be the same picture because you want to portray yourself as a professional. All right? and of course have a short bio and a summary, portray yourself. I was talking about the tagline. So have the tagline so that people know you as that. And build a professional website or a blog. I don't say this, everyone has to do it, but in case you are passionate about it, some people I see that they are very passionate about, writing blogs or writing maybe making a website of themselves. So if you are having any interest and passion, go for it, right? Right, we are coming now to something very important here, networking skills. So when it comes to the LinkedIn part of it, what is it that we do in LinkedIn? Can I know from some of you? We all are present in LinkedIn. Acha, okay, let me ask you one thing. How many of us have got over 1,000 followers in LinkedIn? Okay, how many of us have got 2,000 followers? 2,000? 1, 2, okay, 2,000. How many of us have got 1,000 plus followers? 1,000 plus? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Wonderful, wonderful. 2 others. Shall I wait for you? Shall I wait? I'll wait for some time. Right. Ask yourself for others. My question to you is, how long you want to take to reach that number of 1,000 followers? How long? Haji? 1 year is for you to decide. Some people may say 1 year, some people may say 6 months, some people may say 3 months. It is for you to decide. This 1,000, I am not just asking you to chase this number, but I am asking you to do this so that you are connecting yourself with the like-minded people, number 1. Right? If you are getting into a particular specialty in your next year, from 3rd sem you will get into a specialty, right? Sorry, from 2nd sem. So if you are getting into a particular specialty, like you are getting into HR, you are getting into supply chain, you are getting into maybe finance, maybe to marketing, right? Whichever domain that you are getting into, try to see who are the thought leaders in that particular domain, right? Who are those thought leaders whom you want to follow? What are they posting? What are they doing? Right? What are they getting involved with? What is it that you want to learn from them? Try and build your network with those thought leaders in your domain. Right? And it's not just having that number of followers, right? It's all about your social presence. How often you are present in LinkedIn? Because your recruiters, before they come here, they will also see your social presence. They will also see how often are you there in the social media, especially the LinkedIn, which is more of a professional site. What is it that you do there? How often you are visiting? How long does it take for you to visit LinkedIn and maybe network? So try and build your network around the people who are thought leaders, who are experts in your domain. See what is it that they are posting, what is it that they are doing, what is it that they are attending, what are the kind of webinars that they are attending, what are the kind of workshops that they are doing or attending, right? What are the takeaways from those webinars and workshops? What is it that you can learn from them? And what is it that you are finding interesting in their workshops or webinars which they are posting? What is it that is, appealing to you? Can you also respond in those posts? So when you start putting up your, comments in the workshops or in the webinars which you are attending or which you are observing, you start developing connections. People start looking at her, who is this person who is, coming so often, posting so often, or get connected so often, or sharing the perspective so often, right? That's how you create a brand about your own self. That's how you enlarge your social presence. That's how people will start knowing you, much before they start seeing you face to face. Today is a time when people need not see you face to know you. I repeat again, people need not see you face to know you. Right? can I also ask now something sensitive? How often are we posting in LinkedIn? Now that everyone is connected on LinkedIn, are we really posting something on LinkedIn? No, sir. Just open an account. Arre baapre. So it is just like khata khula hai. Huh? Opening a khata. Huh? Right. So opening a khata is the first step that you have taken. Now, if you have just opened an account, it also, if it remains like this, it also conveys a message. Let me also share with you this thing. If you have just opened an account and if it remains dormant for a longer period of time, it conveys a message. What's the message it conveys? The guy is inactive. The guy has opened an account and is not bothered. He is not present, not doing networking, not a professional guy. People can infer many things. Do you want that to happen? So that's what I'm saying. This is a this is a professional network. So spend some time, maybe in the weekends you can spend some time on a Sunday, or maybe it hardly takes 10 minutes. All I'm saying is 10 minutes. Or maybe you can visit LinkedIn twice in a week. Twice in a week, 10 minutes. That's more than enough. Or on a Sunday, maybe you can spend another 15 minutes. Just to look at, thought leaders of the same domain of yours. Maybe you can send out your request to them. Maybe you can look at what all the things that they are posting. Who are the people who you want to follow? Who are the people whom you want to follow? Right? If you want to become a leader, there are a lot of global leaders available whom you can follow. Right? You can follow John Maxwell, who is supposed to be a very renowned, very popular person who has written many books on leadership. He is available on LinkedIn. He sends out he uploads a lot of videos on LinkedIn. Anyone can follow him. John C. Maxwell. He has authored many books on leadership. I'm just giving you an example. Right? So if you want to develop your leadership skills, if you want to build your leadership muscle, what should I be doing? I just have to search for John C. Maxwell in LinkedIn. I need to just follow this guy and see what all this guy is posting. He'll post a lot of videos, he'll post a lot of messages, he will write a lot of articles on leadership, which I can read and maybe respond. And in the same group, you will find many other leaders present there. You can see who are all there present. Simple? Can we start doing it? Yes, sir. That's what it takes. And Twitter is another handle, Twitter is another social media you can also make use of. All this social media, hardly requires 10 minutes. So I'm not saying that every day you must, visit this social media or maybe take out some time for this. No, I'm not at all saying that. I'm saying in a week, at least 10 minutes, if you can take it out, or maybe on a Sunday, if you can take out 15-20 minutes, that's good enough at this point of time. Otherwise, LinkedIn, if you leave it untouched, it is also sending a wrong message. It's sending a message which is not in your favor. So you can have a professional handle, you can engage with hashtags, you can also follow influencers. That's what I was saying. The thought leaders, the influencers, the people who are masters or experts in that domain, you can start following them, right? And it's very easy to follow people. You don't even have to connect with them. You can start following them. Right? Insta, how many I think everyone is present on Insta, I don't have to ask. What do we do with Insta? Reels, is it not? Right, my question to you is, can we do something on Insta beyond Reels? Yes, sir. Have a look at it, right? You can post professional content on Insta, right? People are doing business on Insta. Yes, sir. People are making money on Insta. People are doing their business on Insta. People are getting their clients on Insta. It's not just for a time pass. It's not just for scrolling. Right? People keep on scrolling. People keep on uploading reels or seeing reels. It's not just reels. Right? People are doing their business. People are getting their clients. People are getting their turnover through Insta. Right? So, professional content, can we think of posting something? Right? You are attending a workshop. Can you take a picture and upload there and see what are your takeaways from that workshop? Simple. Suppose you are getting into HR, you are attending a HR workshop. Maybe online, offline. So what are your takeaways from that? Upload that picture and then post maybe 2-3 takeaways. And that's how you start developing your network. story highlights, engage with people, right? In Facebook, it's not just, putting pictures. In Facebook, are we all aware that Facebook has got some groups? Yes, sir. Professional pages are there? Yes, sir. Professional groups are there? Are we all aware of that? Sorry? Network means for what? Huh.
The business we can post our pictures and started selling our products through Facebook.
हाँ जी.
Most of the people are doing that and making the company very
Right. Thank you so much. All I'm saying is there are a lot of professional groups in Facebook. Are we all aware of that? Yes, sir. Right? You have to only explore. Go to the search and type that professional group, whatever that you want to be part of. Become a member of that professional group. You will see what all latest things are happening, what all are the developments happening, what all people are doing. That's what I said, relearn and unlearn and relearn, right? That's how you can do unlearn and relearn. You can become part of those groups. You can also start sharing the content. You can start writing, right? Get into this habit of writing. Maybe some short contents, whatever you have experienced. What are your takeaways? What are your learnings? If you have attend some online webinar seminars, whenever you get time. As far as, the time permits. I know that you have got a long schedule every day, but whenever the time permits, take out some time to attend any of those webinar seminars, free ones, which are happening around. And YouTube, we visit very often. I don't know what contents we consume. Right? But YouTube can also be used for other purposes as well. Right? You can also start a YouTube channel of your own. Come out of the shyness of, okay, I'm not video friendly. I cannot shoot any video of my own self. These are all the limiting beliefs that we have. These are all limiting beliefs that we have. I'm not, video friendly. I cannot be speaking anything in video, right? Come out of those beliefs. Post some small messages, like 1 minute message. If you have learned something new, some new concept, you have attended a webinar or maybe some workshop, what is it that you are taking away? Shoot a small video of maybe 1.5 minute. 1.5 minute. Upload it. To make a beginning. You see how it progresses over a period of time. Make a beginning. Can you think of doing it? Yes, sir. Right. We need to manage time. So we need to also look at time management. Right. Because we have time till what time? 6:30? So we have time and we have to manage time and we have to also look at time management. Right. I'll take a small pause here. In case you have got any queries about what all we have discussed so far, feel free to raise your hand. Yeah, please.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai
Rishi here. Sir, you have said you should have a tagline for yourself.
Tagline, yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just want to know, I'm curious whether you have your own tagline for yourself, sir. Have you made?
Wow. Right. Wonderful. Yeah, right. Wonderful. I have got a tagline for myself. If you have seen my, maybe my LinkedIn, if you have visited my LinkedIn, right, I have also mentioned in my LinkedIn that I am a strong proponent of lifelong learning. This is one tagline of mine which I mention everywhere, every time.
Strong proponent of?
Lifelong learning.
Okay.
So I am a strong believer of lifelong learning.
Thank you.
This is my tagline. Thank you so much for asking. Right. Because this is what I believe in. This is what I mention. This is what I do. One should not stop learning because life doesn't stop teaching. All right. So this is what I strongly believe in. That's what I'm a strong proponent of. Thank you so much. I'm sure this will also trigger your thoughts to have a tagline for yourself. Right? But don't do copy paste, huh? my tagline. Right, wonderful. So, any queries at this point of time? Yeah.
You were mentioning about visualization.
Yeah, power of visualization.
Power of visualization. So I was just keen to know that visualization and manifestation, do they serve the same agenda or they both are two different things?
Yeah, they are not same. They may be similar, but they are not same, right? But power of visualization has its strong benefits, has a strong, results. That's what I can say. Once you have a power of visualization, it may manifest. That's what I say. They are interconnected, but they are not same. All right. Any queries at this point of time before we get on to the next one? Time management. Right. Wonderful. So that means there are no queries. We can go ahead and manage the time. Right. I understand you have got a tight schedules here in the campus, right? And your days totally packed Monday to Saturday, right? And I'm sure Sundays are also packed. I know. All right. But you have got only 24 hours. What do we do? You don't get that liberty of 24 and a half hours, is it not? Right. Very often we keep hearing one thing. मेरे पास टाइम कहाँ है सर? दम मारने की फुर्सत नहीं है. We keep hearing this? Yes, sir. Huh? What do you say? What do you all say? Time नहीं है. Time नहीं है. This guy says दम मारने की फुर्सत नहीं है. हाँ? सांस लेने की फुर्सत नहीं है. सुनो सांस लेने की फुर्सत नहीं है. Then how are you alive? अगर सांस लेने की फुर्सत नहीं है तो how are you alive? How are you breathing and surviving or living? So we keep hearing this word that दम मारने की फुर्सत नहीं है, right? Time नहीं है, right? सांस लेने की फुर्सत नहीं है, दम मारने की फुर्सत नहीं है. Is it not? We keep hearing this word. Yes, sir. Now what does it mean? What does it mean? I'm too occupied. Poor time management. Right. So, right. One more thing. Let me ask you. How often you hear the word कि कल करेंगे? जल्दी क्या है कल करेंगे? Very often. अरे जल्दी क्या है कल करेंगे? कल करेंगे. We keep hearing this word. Not only we keep hearing, but we also keep saying this word कि कल करेंगे, कल करेंगे. But does that kal really comes? It never comes, right? So what is it that we can do for these two things? One is beat procrastination or beat managing these 24 hours, right? So what exactly is time management when we are talking about this word, time management? What does it mean? If you have to describe in one liner, what is that going to be? What else? What else? What else? What is time management actually? Hota kya hai? What is time management? Prioritization. क्या calculation what? What the watch is doing, no? Optimizing, okay. Scheduling the task, wonderful, wonderful, excellent. Efficient what? Right, okay. Let me make it very short, sweet and one-liner. What is time management? Because we keep hearing, no? Time manage karo, this guy doesn't manage the time, this, you have to learn to manage time. We keep hearing these words. But what is time management basically? So, time is, we keep hearing, no? Time kisi ke liye rukta nahi hai. Right? It's 24 hours for Mr. Narendra Modi, who is taken over the charge yesterday, and for us also it's 24 hours. For Joe Biden is 24 hours. How are they managing and discharging their work? So what is time management basically? If you look at the definition, it is nothing but listen. If you stop talking, you will listen. You give me a chance to speak, I'll say. So time management is nothing but the ability to allocate the right time for the right activity at the right time. I repeat again, the ability to allocate the right time for the right activity at the right time for the right purpose. So this is a short statement, but it has got a lot of depth in it. Right? So when you look at the ability to allocate the right time, am I really doing it? Am I really doing it? Obviously not. I'll give you some examples here. Maybe you will be able to connect better. Imagine for a while, I'm using the power of visualization. Imagine for a while that you are getting a SMS on your mobile phone that rupees 86,400 is credited in your bank account. It's not a spam, huh? It's a real one. 86,400 rupees are credited in your bank account. You are getting SMS. And you are expected to spend this amount. 86,400 rupees. If you are told to spend this amount in a single day, what will you do? How will you do? Huh? Invest. Or? Okay. 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 Right. Wonderful. So I am getting a message that can I request you to listen? Right. If you are getting a message that 86,400 rupees are getting credited in your account, and you are spending that money and keeping account of this, every rupee that is being spent, you will make an account? Is it not? How will you feel if someone, steals maybe 5,000 rupees from that? How will you feel? You don't mind? Arey yaar. If someone steals 5,000 rupees from there, how will you feel? You will feel bad, is it not? Now I'll give you another situation. Every day, remember, every day you are getting in the morning, the moment you get up, you are getting a SMS that 86,400 seconds are getting credited in your account of life. Every day. Every day. You are getting it. 86,400 seconds are getting credited in your life every day. What is 86,400 seconds? 24 into 60 into 60 is 86,400 seconds. Are you really aware where this 86,400 seconds of yours is going? How are you spending it? Are you aware? Maybe on the weekdays in campus you know where it is going, but on a Sunday are you aware where it is going? Now I'll also ask you one more thing. You said you will feel bad if someone is stealing 5,000 rupees. Is someone stealing your time? When I say time robbers, who are those time robbers for you? Who are stealing your time? Sorry? Distraction. What are those distractions? It can be social media, right? Or it can be anything, right? Gossips, social media, all these are time robbers. All these are you really aware? Who is stealing your time? You all said you will feel bad if someone is stealing 5,000 rupees from 86,400 rupees. Now from 86,400 seconds that you are getting, are you keeping an account of where my 86,400 seconds are going every day? How will you feel if some activity of yours, is stealing 5,000 seconds? How will you feel? Are you really feeling that? Because there is some activity which is stealing your time. They are time robbers. Now I will ask you something sensitive. Are you really aware who are those time robbers for you? Are you really aware about who is stealing your time? Who means which are those activities which are stealing your time? Are you aware? Keep your hand here and say. Are you really aware which are those activities which are stealing your time? Now my next question is, if you are aware, what are you doing about it? You are allowing that activity to continue to steal every day. वो चोर कोई चोरी कर रहा है तो you are allowing that chore to do चोरी every day. So what will you do if someone is stealing your 5,000 rupees every day? You will keep quiet? So here you are keeping quiet because there is some activity which is stealing your time every day, every time, and you are aware about it, and you are closing your eyes. It is happening right under your nose, and you are closing your eyes. Friends, this is something sensitive which I was asking you, right? This is something, time robbers or distractions, something which is happening right under your nose. You are aware about it, but you are closing your eyes. You want to remain like this? What is it that you want to do about it? Is for you to do, right? Is for you to decide, right? So now let us come to, I know I have given you some food for thought. Take this as your takeaway and then start working on this. What is it that you want to start doing about the time robbers which are stealing your time? Now, there are some tasks which are urgent. There are some tasks which are also important. There are some tasks which are neither urgent nor important. Do we classify these tasks that we do? Right. Do we really classify them? Yes or no? I know the answer, right? So, if we are not knowing which is the task which is urgent, which is the task which is important, what is going to be the consequence of this? Can we just think beyond and share what is going to be the consequence if I am not able to classify the task? Remember, the definition of time management is what? Allocating the right time for the right activity at the right time for the right purpose. If this is the allocation of the time, right, it means that I need to be aware which is the task which is urgent, which requires my allocation of time, which is the task which is important where I need to allocate time, which is the task which is neither urgent nor important, should I allocate my time for that? But am I really spending my time on that? Then, right under your nose it is happening. Right under your nose it is happening and you are keeping quiet, you are closing your eyes. So, all I am saying is try and see which are those activities which are urgent, which are those activities which are important, what is it that you should be doing, where should you be spending more time on, where should you be spending less time on, right? And that's what we are using these two inputs of urgent and important. And Eisenhower, who was the president of US in the World War times, he has come out with this model which is known as urgent important model, right? Is also called as Eisenhower model, right? So I'm sure many of you must be knowing this urgent and important model, right? So the urgent and important model in things which are urgent and important are like fire, means it's like deadlines, we have to attend to it, immediate needs, critical problem, you can't postpone it anytime, right? And you have to leave everything and then attend to it, urgent and important. And so for us, what can come under urgent and important? Yeah. Can anyone share what can come under urgent and important for us? Assignments which are time bound. Means I have to submit my assignment before a particular date and a time. I can't afford to delay that beyond that date, is it not? Right. The tasks which are important but not urgent is like watering, You water a plant. So it is planning and organizing, analyzing, structuring, review, alignment, long-term goals, self-care and development. Any example that you can think of? I'll give you an example. Suppose you want to do a course in LinkedIn Learning, right? You want to do a course in edX. Are we all aware that we have got access to edX? Are we all aware? edX platform? edX, right? So edX is one such platform which in which you can do a lot of certification courses, right? So suppose I want to do a certification course in edX. Where will it come here? Right, it will come in watering because it is something which is important to me, but it is not urgent ke aaj hi karna hai. It's important that I do that course and get myself certified, but I need not do it today itself. I can do it by maybe end of July. By 31st of July, I want to do it. Right. So what else can come under this? It's important, but it's not urgent for you. What can come under this? Yeah, any thoughts, any example here? Come on. Like what? Give me an example. What can come under this? It's important but not urgent for me. Yeah. Social media. No, एक minute. Checking LinkedIn. Okay. If you are saying checking LinkedIn for professional network, yeah, it is important, but it's not urgent. Good. But if you are looking at scrolling reels, it's different. Okay. Now let us look at another thing. Right. The tasks which are urgent, but they are not important. It can be, earth, day-to-day task, meetings, urgent emails, errands. So your example comes here. Your example. Here. Okay. Chalo, kiska bhi ho, but that example comes here. Right. The last one, the activities which are neither urgent nor important, like which is like distraction, social media, junk emails, promotional emails, discount emails from, coming from Big Bazaar and all that. Any example of this? Any example of activities which are neither urgent nor important? Watching movies. Is it watching movies or scrolling the reels? Scrolling reels, right? No, sometimes shopping can be for a purpose, right? Any example which can come in neither urgent nor important? Gossip. Okay, what else? So remember, we are talking about time robbers. You will find all the time robbers sitting here. But my point is, are you really aware? Who are those time robbers who are sitting here, which you can knock off and save some time? All right. So do some reflection and then try and figure it out in this Eisenhower matrix. What is it that you can put under each of the quadrant? And then you will be able to decide, where do I need to spend more time on? Where do I need to spend less time on? And then you will be able to manage your time. All right. Right. I am also looking at one thing that we are talking about is the setting of the goals. What are those principles of setting goals? Because setting goals doesn't happen in the fourth SEM or third SEM. When does it begin, setting goals? Now, today. Wonderful. So when you are setting your goals, we need to be mindful of certain principles of setting goals. Number one is the commitment. What does it mean when I am setting a goal? What has commitment to do with that? What has commitment to do with setting goals? One voice at a time, please. Anyone? Commitment. What has commitment to do with setting goals? Commitment. The word what? What has commitment to do with setting goals? Commitment. As a word, commitment. What it has to do with setting goals? Prioritizing, okay, commitment, the word commitment.
Whatever the condition I will do that task. Wonderful. So whatever may be the impediments, obstacles, right, which may come in the way, right, I will not dilute my goal against all odds. I will achieve my goal come what may. Come what may, I will achieve my goal, because there are bound to be impediments, there are bound to be obstructions, right? There are bound to be obstacles coming in between me and my goal. How committed I am towards my goal is what you need to ask yourself. How committed are you towards your goal is what you need to ask yourself. Am I really committed towards my goal, or am I saying for the sake of saying? And that's why I said keep your hand here and say what you're saying. You'll get an answer. Right? The next is, do I have clarity of the goal that I'm setting for myself? If you are not having clarity, seek clarity. Ask people, ask mentors, ask seniors, ask some people. Seek clarity. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to become? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you are keeping as a goal for yourself?
right? It's important that you are having clarity before you set up the goal, right? And how should the goal be? It should be challenging, because you can't have a goal which is normal and easy to achieve. There has to be, when I say challenging, it means there has to be an element of stretch. And not ups and downs, there has to be an element of stretch. What does it mean? Element of stretch. It means will it bring out the tenacity in you? Will it bring out the tenacity in you? Will you be able to stretch yourself? Sorry? Pushing beyond limits. That's tenacity, right? So that's what I'm saying. Will it? Should I begin? Right. So it should also have that element of bringing out tenacity in you. That it should be, able to make you stretch yourself. That is challenging, right? So if every day if you are getting up at 6:30, you can't have a goal, I will get up at 6:15. Is it challenging? So I'm just giving one of example. Right? You can have any goal that you want to have in for yourself, but it should have that element of some challenge, right? Some stretch element. Right. The next is the task that you are setting for yourself. It should not be complex. I think complex and clarity are together. So feedback. So feedback is something which we are going to spend some time on a little later. So I'll not spend some time here. Right. The next thing is कल करेंगे. हाँ? जल्दी क्या है कल करेंगे. We are all familiar with Hindi right here. So कल करेंगे, कल करेंगे, कल करेंगे. Right. So whether we call it as a procrastination, I am no different. I am also party to that. We need to be a little more curious here to figure it out. Why do we have the tendency to postpone? Can we have some reflection and feel free to share? Why do we get this tendency to postpone? कि कल करेंगे, जल्दी क्या है कल करेंगे? Yeah. क्या बात है यार. Lovely, lovely. Excellent, excellent. अरे हाथ मिलाओ यार. Lovely, lovely, excellent. Human brain has got the tendency to remain in the comfort zone because I don't want to take up anything new. I don't want to do something different. I don't want to take up any new task. I don't want to go out of my comfort zone. What is comfort zone? What I'm doing routinely. My routines are my comfort zone. Right? I don't want to come out of that comfort zone. Anything beyond comfort zone, I say, अरे जल्दी क्या है कल करेंगे. Right? But that kal comes? Never. Right. So, I was in one of the workshops that I was part of. One member was sharing that, talna. Kal karenge is nothing but talna, right? Talo. There is nothing wrong in kal karenge. There is absolutely nothing wrong in saying kal karenge or talna. So, talo, magar schedule mein dalo. Is so powerful. Talo, magar schedule mein dalo. It means today is Monday. I have got a tight schedule. I will not be able to take up this task today. I will not be able to do. It's fine. Talo. आज के दिन नहीं हो सकता है टालो. Postpone it. टालना is nothing but postpone, right? It's not a bad word. But उसको schedule में डालो. Means आज नहीं कर रहे हो तो फिर कब करोगे? I'll do it on Wednesday early morning, first hour. I'll not be able to do it today, but I'll put it in my schedule of Wednesday morning, first hour. I'll attend to it and do it. So, talna by itself is not a bad word, but talo, magar schedule mein dal do so that it is part of your to-do list. That brings me to one more important thing, right, of to-do list. How many of us practice this to-do list? Paper or digital? Paper. क्या बात है? Paper. Paper. Digital. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Right, wonderful. I can see hardly 30% of the hands going up. So it means rest of the people do not believe in to-do list? Rest of the people do not believe in to-do list? Right. Let me tell you the background of this. If you can allow me. I cannot proceed, no? Let me tell you the scientific background of this, the why to-do list. It's not a fancy item or fancy model. Human brain, the research says, has got the capacity to store and recall up to 6 tasks in a day that you decide to do, right? This is what the research says. Like in the morning or the previous night, I decide that I will do this. You know, maybe 5 tasks human brain can recall. But beyond that, suppose if I got 8 tasks to do in a day, and if you believe that, "Arey, main yaad rakh lunga, koi baat nahi, main yaad rakh lunga, I'll recall that, I'll do it, I'm telling you, I'll do it." But human brain will not be able to recall all those 8 or 9 tasks that you are planning to do in a day. Your intent is good, but the brain has got its own limitations of not recalling all that 9 tasks that you are deciding to do. It will get diluted. Hence, this to-do list, even now, it is a very powerful tool for us to fall back on so that I don't leave it unfinished. Right? So, to-do list will also help us to ensure that I don't miss out on any important task which I decided to do in a day. Sometimes, you know, by evening we say, "Arey yaar, I should have done this. I should have completed this." Huh? "Arey yaar, I should have done this. Arey yaar, I should have done that." Arey yaar. You know, we keep blaming our human brain. But don't blame the human brain because it has its own limitations. That's why we have got the to-do list. So you have got a paper and pen of to-do list. You have got digital ones. You have got on mobile phones to-do list. You have got in the calendar you have got a to-do list. Then you have got in the task you have got a to-do list. You have got in Microsoft Teams you have got a to-do list. There are digitally you can access a lot many to-do lists, right? And on a piece of paper, of course, I don't have to say, you all know that. So that is the purpose of to-do list. It reminds you, right? By evening, you can fall back on and check whether I have completed all my items for the day or not, or is there anything left out. There are some assignments which you have to attend on. There are some chapters that you want to read. There are something that you want to revise. There are something that you want to complete in incomplete task. Are you putting it up in your to-do list? It will also align your human brain, align your mind to, prepare yourself that I want to do this today. Are you aligning your brain for that, your mind? What is it that we can do? It will also keep on reminding you, in case you are putting it on paper, maybe you put it up at a prominent place which you keep seeing. It will keep reminding you in your respective rooms. Maybe whichever place that you keep seeing regularly, put it up there, it will keep reminding you. So it will also help you, talo magar schedule mein dalo means put up in your to-do list of Wednesday if you are not able to do it on Monday. Will you be able to procrastinate that time? Excuse me. Obviously not. Right? So now let us see how do I overcome this procrastination, which is nothing new to humans. Number one is recognize when you start procrastinating, know your priorities. Putting off an unimportant task is not procrastination. Right? Suppose you are scrolling reels and you are saying, kal dekhenge, unimportant task, if you are postponing it is not procrastination. Why do we procrastinate? Because I am not getting time for a task which is where I am supposed to spend some time on. Because I am filling my day with unimportant task. I am filling my day by attending to tasks which are neither urgent nor important. So for the task which is important and urgent, I am not getting time. Happens? So would you like to revisit and see where is it that you are spending more time on? Are you filling your day with low priority task? So sitting down to start a high priority task and getting distracted, Are there any distractions which are taking away? You are completing a project, so there's something which is coming, maybe a phone call, maybe a gossip, or maybe something reels. It's taking away your time. Whom do you want to blame? Time nahi hai. Right? So there is something, which is distraction, which is taking away your time. Are you saying yes to unimportant task? You are saying yes to unimportant task. Right? So what is it that I can do by practicing assertive behavior? Remember, in the some time back we were talking about assertive behavior. What is it that I can start making use of that here? Right? And try and reflect. Why am I doing what I am doing? If you can do some self-talk. How many of us actually practice self-talk here? Oh, wow. Oh, so many hands, so many hands. Lovely, lovely. Good to see so many hands going up. So while you are practicing self-talk, if you can just settle down, please. If you can ask yourself in self-talk, why am I procrastinating? Why am I postponing? Right? What is making you do that? You will get an answer. Right? And when you take out time and attend to the task, humans are always demanding motivation. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself and do a pat on your own back. Okay, I have done this. I have completed this project before time. I have completed this assignment before time. Pat yourself. How will you feel that time when you are completing an assignment or a task before time? Feel proud, feel good. You know that feel good factor? Try to bring that feel good factor and pat your own self. You see how that itself motivates you to do it again and again. Alright, can we start doing it? I'll take a pause here in case you are making any notes. I know many of you are making notes, good habit. Right, I'm also mindful that you are in the campus stretching yourself. There's a lot of talk here. Right, I'm also mindful that in the campus you are making the best use of your time, stretching yourself. Right, and as you get in the corporate life, you will also stretch yourself. So somewhere we need to draw a line and then see what is it that I can do to manage my own self. It means, how do I bring about a balance of my work and my life? How do I ensure that I'm not getting overwhelmed or I'm not getting burnt out? Right? How do I ensure that I'm not getting into the strain zone? When you are in the comfort zone, you stretch yourself and come out of the comfort zone. That is the first zone. And if you continue to stretch yourself, you get into the strain zone. Strain zone, comfort zone, stretch zone and strain zone. Right? Once you are doing that strain, you can't be straining yourself all the 6 days, 7 days in a week. You can stretch yourself or strain yourself maybe 1 day, 2 days. Right? Maybe you can do night out, and complete an assignment or project and all. Maybe you can work for 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night, 4 o'clock in the night by stretching yourself. At times you may be straining yourself, but can you do it for 4 days in a week? You will get overwhelmed. You will get burnt out. You will have, headaches. You will have sleeplessness. You will have stress. You will get into drowsiness. Somewhere you need to draw a line and have that work-life balance, right? And take care of yourself. So work-life balance is something which is equally important in campus life, and as you get into the corporate world, it is also becoming equally important, right? It means, what is it that I can do to keep myself physically fit? Because if you are physically fit, you are mentally fit. Is it not? And you need to be mentally fit when you are in campus because you are learning every day. Every day is important. Every session is important. And you need to bring not only a body here, you need to bring your mind also here. So you can be mentally fit only when you are physically fit. What is it that you are doing about it? Is what you need to be asking yourself. How do I remain physically fit and avoid those getting overwhelmed or burnt out? How do I balance my anxieties, right? Of course, it will help you to be more productive at work, and how do I manage my relationships as well? Now, let us see what is it that I can do to improve my work-life balance? Something, will it interest you? Will it interest you? The tips to have a better work-life balance? So if you are really interested, give me an opportunity or a chance to say that. Right. Number one is set very clear-cut priorities for yourself. What is it that you want to do in a day? Where do you want to spend more time on? Where do you want to set boundaries for yourself? I can do this. I need 6 hours of sleep. Come what may. Right? I can sleep for 5 hours today, but tomorrow I want 7 hours. Right? How do you want to prioritize and plan yourself? I think some of you were talking about prioritization here. I heard the word prioritization, some of you were saying. Right? What is the kind of planning that you are doing for the day, and what is the kind of prioritization that you are setting for your own self? Okay, you know, when it comes to prioritization, it's all about that urgent and important matrix. Which is priority for you? Where do you want to spend more time on? If project is important for you, you are completing this assignment, that is the topmost urgent and important for you. What is it that you want to cut off and save some time from distractions? Sorry? And what are the kind of efficient work habits that you are developing for your own self? It means how do you want to limit your own distractions? Right, learn to say no. Is it easy? It's not easy to say no. In fact, there is a book which says how to say no. Don't say yes when you want to say no. Right? It's not easy to say no. People struggle to say no. But remember some time back, you know, when we were discussing assertive behavior, I did say that the way of saying no. Right? No, saying no doesn't mean on the face, no, Tanisha, I cannot do, no. It means I understand the concern of yours that you want this to be done. However, I have got this right now to do today. Can I take it up once I complete this task of mine? Is it okay with you? What is it actually I'm saying? I'm saying actually no, but how am I presenting myself? I am not polite. Assertive. I am assertive. Right? Or at the most what you can do is it okay if someone else can do it in place of me? Right? Invest in self-care, physical health. Maybe you can go some walk or take care of your emotional health, physical health, meditation. Make use of the technologies, you know, some platforms. Right, this is something important. Set some goals for your own self about career and personal goals, and seek support as far as the support is concerned. Maybe you can do networks, maybe you can have some mentor. I'm sure we'll talk about mentorship a little later, but I'm sure many of you must be having mentors here. Yes. We'll touch upon a little later and have a routine. Right, this is something very sensitive. I think it's a week that you are in the campus now. How many of us have got a routine schedule for our own self? Sorry? Schedule of 24 hours. Schedule. Arey yaar, I'm asking about you. I'm asking about you as a person. Do you have a, excuse me, how many of us have got a schedule for our own self? What is it that I can do in my 86,400 seconds every day? Where do I want to spend more time on? Where do I want to cut off my time? So, can we think of keeping a schedule? Because schedule is something which is what will decide where are you spending your time on. Remember 86,400 seconds. Are you closing your eyes if someone is stealing your time? Right under your nose. Every day. Will you keep quiet? Right, so that's what reflection we have spoken about. Right, at this point of time, before we get into the next part of teamwork, any queries at this point of time? No? Wow, wonderful. So can I have some voices? What is it that you want to start doing differently from now onwards? Can I have some voices? Yeah. Schedule means what? I said, what is it that you want to start doing differently from now onwards? So say it, no, I want to do this. I asked you, what is it that you want to start doing differently? Schedule means, schedule is what you have listened. Okay, wonderful. What else? Prioritize. Okay, wonderful. Friends, before we move on to the next section, I would request you to reflect for a while and ask yourself, what is it that you want to start doing differently from now onwards? What are you taking away? What are those doables which you want to start doing from now onwards differently? Yeah, take the mic, it's there.
Prioritizing tasks and setting goals, and to make to-do list for the day, these all things.
Wonderful, wonderful. And remember, we used one more, we have learned one more thing, that I factor. Remember that I factor? Use I. So start using here itself. Here, I will start doing this. Where is it? I. Arey bolo yaar, I will start doing this.
I'll start setting goals for the day. I'll start prioritizing the task for the day, and make everyday to-do list.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is the I factor. Yeah, wonderful. Please. Oh, mic is here itself.
Jain sir, I will start researching in depth about the topics that are discussed in the sessions daily. Like I'm art student, so I'm not aware with some of the topics that are discussed here. So I go in the room every day and I research in depth about what is exactly being discussed here.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Excellent use of I factor here, and this is what you're taking away and start doing. So, yeah, please. You're asking me, ask your friends. Quickly, we are left with about 45 minutes.
Hello. Good evening, sir. My name is Dinesh Yadav.
Yeah, good evening.
And sir, I agree with that girl. The point which she has given.
That girl has got a name.
Yes, sir. Her name was Kauri, sir. And yes, sir. She has given some points, sir. And I agree with that. That in previous sessions, sir were teaching us about
Can
AI.
we respect him and listen to him, please?
Yeah, sir. Sir was teaching us about AI and different technologies. So we can spend some time on researching and about AI and what are the technologies which are in trend. And it doesn't take time to read about that. We can take around 10 minutes daily. It will also increase our self-worth that we have done something productive throughout the day besides our induction programs. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, my mic is coming to you. Yeah, can we save some time, please? We are behind schedule by about 10 minutes. Yeah.
From today onwards, I will use...
Ek minute. I think we can't move on if there are multiple voices here in one room. Yeah.
Okay. From today onwards, I will use all the 86,400 seconds properly.
See, 86,400 is nothing but 24 into 16 to 60.
Yeah.
Right? Wonderful. Chalo, good. So let us move on now and look into the fifth one, which is all about right. I can start only when you stop, because I have to get permission from people, no, who are busy talking. Right, thank you so much. And let us get into an important topic here, which is all about teamwork and collaboration. As I said, be it in campus or be it in, what is a commotion? Anything interesting there which you want to share? Anything that you want to share which is interesting for everyone? Sorry? Okay. So should I wait? Right. So be it in campus or be it in corporate, right, this is something which is going to be of utmost importance to you, because here you are going to work also as a team. You work as a team here, work in any projects? Or maybe you may be required to also work and collaborate as a team, right? Collaboration is something which may be required here. And you have to collaborate, of course, when you are in the corporate world. You have to work sometimes in your team, sometimes as a cross-functional team as well, right? So that is where, teamwork and collaboration is also required. And let us also look at what actually happens when people from different parts of the country who are sitting here, when they come together to form a team. Suppose you are working on a project, or maybe some festivals, or maybe some projects, or maybe some events. You will work, in events. And that time you have to work as a team. You can't be working in silos, in teams, in events. You have to work as a team. So when people from different parts of the country, from different cultures, they come here and want to work in an event as a team, what happens in the beginning? Let us reflect and see what actually happens in the beginning. Clashing of opinion. Wow, wonderful. So initially, the team is announced for an event which is coming up. So the team is announced. So everyone is obviously excited, right? I'm part of the team. So-and-so person is there in the team. So many people are there in the team. Next is clash of opinions happen, because I want to talk about my perspective, right? I want to fall in love with my own idea. I want to push my idea. Is it not? And everyone is wanting to push their own ideas and perspectives. Obviously, there's some clash. Huh? Everyone wants to be a leader. So obviously, there is some storm which is happening. Right? And after that, over a period of time, later on, what happens? People settle down. People start respecting each other. Right? People start looking at the larger picture. Ki humne karna kya hai? Right? Let us work together as a team. And they form a team. And then they start performing. Is it not? So this is actually the human behavior which has been studied by Dr. Bruce Tuckman. And he came out with a model which is now being followed across in all the team works, right? He came out with a model which is known as forming, storming, norming, and performing. This is how we all work as teams. So initially when the teams are being announced, everyone is excited and we are forming a team, right? There's a formation of the team which has happened. Maybe, we are told that, there are 10 people who are going to work together for this particular event. So the names are announced and every member is excited about it. And there is so much of curiosity, so much of energy, so much of, ideas which are floating around. So people are polite and people are talking to each other. That's a forming of a team which has happened. And after that, as Tanisha, right? And Tanisha was saying, after that, there is a clash of ideas. There is a conflict of ideas. Everyone wants to push their idea and perspective. So that's where the storming happens. And look at the kind of performance. As the storming happens, the performance drops down because people are more in the conflict mode, trying to push each other's ideas, right? That's the storming part. And over a period of time, the processes will form and people become comfortable with relationships and people started agreeing to each other and they start looking at the larger picture, and that's where people form a norm or maybe a process, a procedure. How do we do this event? Right? Let us set some rules and processes and who will do what. Right? So that is norming, and once they are being set, then we are ready to perform, and then we start performing, right? And look at the kind of graph that goes up for performance in the performing time. So this is how the actual human behavior is being studied by Bruce Tuckman. He says forming, storming, norming, and performing is something which we commonly see. Do we allow this graph to move like this? Do we allow this graph to move like this. What is it that we should be doing when we are working as a team? Yeah. What we should be doing when, do we allow this graph to move like this in the same way? Then how? Yeah, you have some point. How? What is it that you want to do that time? Because storming is something which is bringing down the performance. So what is it that we should be doing? Storming is bringing down the performance. Sorry? Okay, wonderful, good attempt. So it also means we can't do away with storming, which is a human behavior. What is it that we can do to bring down the time that we spend on storming? Assertive communication, wonderful, that's one way of doing it. So what is it that we can do to bring down the time that we spend on storming? Can we think of ways and means by being assertive, by respecting their perspective, by agreeing to disagree, right? And look at the larger picture and then continue to move on so that you are spending less time on storming, right? Meeting, here. Spend less time on storming and maybe more time on norming and performing, right? That will also help us to move on and look at the larger picture and then perform as a team. Yeah. That's nothing but norming, no? When you are making a team leader who will coordinate and conduct, that's nothing but norming. Norming में वही तो होता है. In forming में, forming is the initial stage, so you can't skip the stage. What I'm saying is, can you shorten the time that we spend on storming and then move on to norming and then performing? Team leader is a good idea. So you can, in the norming stage itself, in the forming stage, we can maybe nominate a team leader who will coordinate and then we all work together and start performing. Wonderful, good idea. Wonderful, and respect the opinion. No, not looking at the opinion, respect each other's perspective. Right, wonderful. So now let us look at the importance of teamwork. It enhances the problem solving, increases the efficiency, innovation and creativity is what will happen, and then it will help you in ultimately the professional growth. So these are some of the big ticket benefits which are attached to the collaboration and the teamwork. And remember, when we are working as a team, what is it that we are looking at? We are looking at newness of the ideas. We are looking at leveraging each other's strength. We are looking at inclusivity. We are looking at diversity. Because when you are bringing diversity into the team, you are bringing newness of the ideas, because everyone brings their own ideas. So we have got a wealth of ideas by bringing that diversity and inclusivity. That's the power of teamwork. And that's what will lead ultimately to the success of the organization. Right? Are we done? Are you writing something right now? Oh, sorry. To one important part now. Shall I proceed with your permissions? If they give permission, I'll proceed. Right, the next thing that we are getting into something is very critical and important for everyone in campus as well as in corporate, because as per the World Economic Forum, you are familiar with the World Economic Forum, right? They come out with the top skills. They say that one of the top 10 skills as per the World Economic Forum of 2024, right? EQ or emotional quotient is rated as one of the top skills for any leader to have, for any employee to have. Emotional quotient. So emotional quotient means, okay, what are the kind of emotions that everyone has? Because when you're going to work as a team, either as a team or maybe when you're going to work as a cross-functional team, or when you're going to work as a leader who is going to be a team leader, right? And you're all future leaders. You're dealing not with products, you're dealing with humans. So when you're dealing with humans, right, you're dealing with emotions of humans. You're dealing with emotions of humans, right? So we need to be aware, okay, how is it that I should be dealing with others, not just people, but their emotions as well. right? So that's what brings us to the important topic of emotional intelligence, right? So in the emotional intelligence concept, Daniel Goleman is the person who has done a lot of studies in the space of emotional intelligence. He has come out with his own EQ model, emotional quotient model, right? I'm sure some of you also must have studied this, right? So he went on to talk about the 4 pillars of emotional quotient, which I'll talk about it a little later. But remember one thing, humans are different from other mammals because we are social animals and we are always exhibiting emotions. In some time back, beginning of the session, I spoke about thoughts, emotions and behaviors, remember? So the kind of thoughts that we get lead us to the emotions that we demonstrate. These emotions are the ones which will drive the behavior that the behavior that we also come out with. So if a person is showing a particular behavior, it is basically emanating from the thoughts and the emotions behind it. So when we look at emotions, number one is it's a very subjective component because how you experience emotions. Emotions can be positive, can be negative. Positive emotions are happiness, delighted, I am happy. All these are positive emotions. Negative emotions are sad, depressed, stressed, anxiety. All those are negative emotions. So how your body actually reacts to these positive or negative emotions. We go through different emotions in a day, is it not? So when you're going through positive or negative emotions in a day, how your body is actually reacting to those positive, negative emotions. And how you behave in response to those emotions is what you need to be aware of. Please, ma'am, please. Mic.
That list I have circulated, and those students' name in this list, they have to report to counter number 7 for the uniform measurement, because vendor will left the phone in, then it will be problem for us. So you people have to be go for there for 5 minutes only. It will take 5 minutes. So go one by one and then come. You can join the back. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Right. Can we do this without making much of a noise, please, because the session will get delayed. Remember, we have got just half an hour left with us. Yes, sir. Our time is clicking. Time management. Right. Because we are left with just about half an hour. 6:45 is what we have time with us. Right. So we are looking at, in a day we go through different emotions, positive and negative emotions. Am I aware of those emotions that I go through? What is it that I am doing? Means how my body is reacting to that, and what is the kind of behavior that I am demonstrating when is it positive emotion or negative emotion. So we call it as the 5 pillars of emotional quotient. Number 1 is, am I aware of the kind of emotion that I am going through in a day? Right? Sometimes I demonstrate positive emotions, sometimes I demonstrate negative emotions. Am I aware? Which are those triggers which are making me demonstrate those negative emotions? That's all about self-awareness. It means, am I aware under which circumstances or in which situation, or which are those triggers which is making me demonstrate a particular emotion, whether it's positive or negative. That's self-awareness. Number 2 is, am I able to regulate my own emotions? Sometimes, when we go back to our rooms, we realize, I should not have talked like this, I should not have told like this, I should not have behaved like this. Hota hai? Hota hai? Right. That is because I wanted to actually respond, but I reacted that time. I wanted to respond, but I reacted that time under a particular trigger. See, triggers are going to be there, always. But am I reacting instead of responding is what is self-regulation all about. How am I able to regulate my own emotions under triggers, under provocations, under instigations? When people are provoking, instigating, Am I reacting or responding? What is it that I should be doing? It's not control, it's all about regulating, self-regulating. Are you able to regulate yourself? Are you able to manage instead of control? Control is something which you are suppressing. When you use the word control, it means it is getting suppressed. So instead of control, I would say, are you able to regulate? Are you able to manage? You know, instead of repenting later on, I should not have talked like this, I should not have said like this, I should not have behaved like this. Is it not? So that happens, repentance happens much later. So are you able to regulate? So if you are able to regulate, you are becoming aware of your own triggers, number one. Number two is you are consciously, mindfully able to respond instead of reacting in a particular trigger situation. That's self-regulation. And self-motivation is very often we depend on others to get motivated. We depend on materialistic things to motivate our own self, right? We become extrinsically motivated, means outside. What if we are practicing intrinsic motivation where I am able to motivate my own self? Where should the motivation come from? Sorry? So instead of becoming dependent on extrinsic motivation, outside world or materialistic things for getting motivated, can I practice intrinsic motivation where you are getting motivation from within? Where you are getting motivated from within, where you are deriving satisfaction for your own self, where you are trying to do something for your own self, not for the sake of others, not for the sake of some materialistic things, right? That is self-motivation. And empathy is something, you know, we are familiar with empathy as a word, dictionary meaning, right? How is it different from sympathy? You put yourself in the shoes of others. And what is sympathy? One voice at a time, one voice at a time. What is sympathy? Sorry? Feeling? Pity, okay. Feeling pity is sympathy. Feeling, putting yourself in other shoes. I've got a question for you. Do you really remove your shoe before you get into the shoes of others? I don't remove. So I don't remove my shoe and I try to get into the shoes of others. Do I really feel the pinch of what the other person is feeling? Is it really empathy? I have removed my shoe. Then only I can feel the pinch of what the other person is feeling. What will happen if I try to get into the shoes of others without removing my own shoe? What will happen? Sorry? I will not fit. Do I really empathize? So it means when I talk about removing my shoe before getting to the shoes of others, it means that I need to put myself in the other person's situation. I need to look into the world of others through their lens. Without any preconceived notion, I need to see the world from their lens. I need to see what is the kind of emotion, feeling the other person is going through right now. That is empathy. You can't practice that if you retain your own shoe. All right? And of course, it is also about understanding the emotions of others. One is awareness of my own emotions. The other is, am I becoming aware of the emotions of others? What will others feel? What will others think if I say like this, if I do this? Or am I only taking care of my own emotions? That is social relationship or effective relationship all about, right? So there are certain collaboration tools. I'll just run it through because many of them you must be. Who else is using Jira? Excellent, excellent. Explore and others, the request is for others, explore and try and utilize them. Yeah, Asana. You can try it out. And then for document collaboration tools, you have got Google Workspace, then 365 is very common, which we all use. File sharing tools, Dropbox, Drive and OneDrive, I think we all are using, right? And collaboration whiteboards, Miro.com, Mural.com, and then you have got whiteboards. These are very common things which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, right? ठीक है? Sorry? Oh. Now that we have seen some of the tools, have a look at some of the techniques as well, right? What are those techniques that we can make use of if we have to collaborate with people? Number one is, of course, have a regular communication channel, which is, when you have to collaborate and work, when you have to work a diversified team, right, there has to be a communication channel which is always working, right? So have a regular check-in meetings or check-in calls, right? Listen to others' perspective, respect each other's perspective, because it need not be the same, right? And use a task and project management. Agile is one thing, SMART goals is nothing but specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound is SMART. I'm sure you all must be familiar with this. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound is SMART goals, right? And collaborative brainstorming, like mind mapping brainstorming sessions, is something which you can explore to leverage the strength of the team, because we are looking at newness of the ideas, we are looking at diversified inclusivities, and you can negotiate with people and come to a consensus, right? So that there are no such conflicts, and there are some feedbacks which are very important at that point of time, right? And finally, diverse teams will bring a lot of newness of the ideas, and that's going to be helpful, right? So the last one is the career planning and development, because when you are doing all these things, what is it that you want? You want a good career, and you want to also grow in your career, and you want to grow your personality as well. What you are today, you are not the same 3 years back. I repeat again, what you are today, you are not the same 3 years back. Just rewind your calendar and see in 2021, were you the same? Not at all, right? Would you like to be the same 2 years down the line? Certainly not. You want to grow in your personality. You want to grow in your, skill sets. You want to develop your own self, basically, right? So now let us quickly look at what is it that we can do. Number one is setting the career goals. So when you have to set a career goal, you need to assess your own strength. I think we have discussed this point. We will not spend time. Set SMART goals, we have discussed. Career exploration. This is something which I was keen to discuss with you. Explore the careers. It means, as I said, engineer, doctor earlier were considered as careers. Today the entire world is open to us, right? So when you are exploring, are we limiting ourselves and looking only at a few options, or are you exploring what else is possible? Let me also share with you one finding. People are really crying about the job losses. Is it not? Heard of job losses? People are cribbing and crying about it. People are saying that we are losing jobs to technology. We are losing jobs to AIs. Is it not? MLs. But it is also said that 65% of the jobs which are going to come up in the next 5 years are not existing as of now. I repeat again, 65% of the jobs which are going to come up in the next 5 years are not existing as of now. What does it mean? New roles are going to come up. New roles, not positions, new roles which are not existing as of now. So am I ready for that? Am I preparing myself for that? Do I have the right skill set for that? Is what you need to be asking yourself and exploring. Because the entire job market, the entire environment is ever changing. It's so dynamic. If the entire environment, job market is so dynamic, are you aware? Are you alert? Are you adapting yourself to that? Are you also unlearning and relearning yourself? Are you also preparing yourself for that? Is what is, career exploration, creating an action plan. What is it that you want to set milestones? If you are making a career plan, if you said, okay, I will have a career goal, are you setting some milestones? Means by maybe December of this year, I will achieve this. Maybe by next year March I will achieve this. Maybe by the third sem beginning I will be ready for this. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I will develop as a skill set. This is a new skill set which I want to acquire, for which I will do this. And this is my checkpoint. At this milestone, I want to check this, that I have achieved this. Am I setting milestones for myself? Is what you need to be asking yourself. Right? And of course, it's all about, when you are acquiring a new skill, it's all about, how you want to acquire newer and newer skills. What is it that you are doing to develop yourself continuously? Which are the certifications that you want to acquire or complete so that your profile is becoming more robust? Remember what we talked about: image, tagline, punchline, right? So what are the certifications that you are doing, that you want to do rather, so that your profile, your bio, your CV is becoming more robust and heavier? Are you thinking in those lines? What are the timelines that you want to keep for yourself? Right, of course, highlighting goals, mock sessions, and as you get into the second sem and third sem, what are the kind of preparation that you want to do for those mock sessions and for maybe the practice sessions or the common FAQs and so on and so forth, so that you don't wait for the employer to come here to start the preparation. Your preparation starts now, right? And when it comes to continuous learning, right, identify what are those learning needs, what's the kind of trend which is there in the industry. Different sectors are moving into different directions. What is the kind of trend that you are observing? What is it that you can do about it? So what is the new skill which is coming up? I said if people are losing job, new job is opening up. So what are the new trends which are happening? And what is the kind of resources that you want to make use of? As I was telling you, there are a lot of platforms which are available, right from Coursera to edX to LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, right? You can go to any of them and then do a lot of courses which are available for you to acquire knowledge and skill. Sorry? How many of us have visited this Udemy, LinkedIn Learning? Oh my God, lovely. Huh? Wow, lovely. Excellent. Right, wonderful. Develop a learning plan. And remember, this is something which is important but not urgent. So you need to have a goal, a milestone. When do you want to complete this? What is it that you want to do to make your profile, to your CV, your bio more richer, more robust and more heavier? And the relevant skills, if you are a finance guy, people are moving away and looking into BI skills. If recruiters come here, they will be looking at, is this person Power BI friendly or not? They are not having so much of time and patience to teach you Power BI. They want to pick up guys who are Power BI ready. I'm just giving you some examples. So are you ready with Power BI if you are a finance guy? So that your recruiters will come and pick you up. Right, so digital literacy is another thing, soft skills is another thing, which people are not having patience, recruiters are not having patience to teach you all these things. They want guys who are already ready with these skills, be it digital literacy, be it soft skills, be it any of the relevant skill set. All right, and now comes seeking mentorship. Do we have mentors here? Do every one of you have mentors? Yes. Everyone? Wow, wonderful. Sorry? But you are going to have a mentor, right? So good. You are going to get a mentor. So remember the importance of a mentor-mentee relationship. What's the benefit of mentoring? Right? How do you want to leverage this mentoring? What is your role as a mentee when you are going to get a mentor? Right? You also play a role. Mentor has got a role. You as a mentee would also have a role. What is your role as a mentee? What is it that you want to start doing? how do you want to leverage your mentor to achieve your career goals? Right? And then comes the feedback. When it comes to the feedback, the first thing that feedback means, be it your professor, be it your HOD, be it your faculty, or be it your mentor, whoever is giving you feedback, the number one thumb rule is to listen, listen, and listen. Feedback has to be first respected and listened first. Human tendency is what? No, sir, I have not done that. No, sir, I have done this. No, sir, no, 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 no. We want to justify, we want to react. So, first and thumb rule is listen, listen, and listen first. First, listen. Don't try to justify, try to understand what the other person is trying to say, what the other person has in mind, because they are interested in your development. If the feedback is coming, take it as it comes. Take it as it comes to you without trying to confront or justify or to protect yourself or to say, no, sir, I have not done that, sir. No, sir, it's not that way. Try to take it as it comes and then see what is it that you have to pick from there and start applying. So it can be constructive or it can be, positive feedback, or it can be constructive. Try to take it in the right perspective and see what is it that you want to pick up from there and start applying in your roles. All right. And another thing that you can also ask is, ask some questions on the feedback instead of justifying or protecting. What makes you say like this? What do you have in mind for me? What do you think I can do differently? So feedback is something which is retrospective. Feedback is something which has happened. Retrospective. Ask feed forward means what is it that I can start doing differently? That is futuristic. So feedback is retrospective, feed forward is futuristic. What is it that I can start doing now? Is feed forward. All right? And there may be challenges coming up. I'm not saying it's going to be a bed of roses. So challenges can be, their job fit can be a challenge. You are looking at a MNC, you may start with a startup. Job fits, organizational culture may not be to your liking, but you have to be ready for that. What is the corporate life that you are looking at? Is it the same? Or there can be some differences in the team, or location can also be a challenge. Many times people look at their native place as their location, which may not come through, right? So be open for that, to learn, right? So all I can say is, even long hours, peer pressure, superiors expectation, corporate politics, or all this work-life balance can be challenges for you. Remember one thing, whenever you go through any of these challenges, be it in the corporate or be it in the current campus life, try to feed your mind with, क्या बात है यार, दिल खुश कर दिया है, क्या बात है, lovely. You made my day because this is what you are always saying, right? So whenever you face any of those challenges, right, remember one thing, fill your mind with positive affirmations. Because these thoughts will lead you to a particular emotion which will drive your behavior, which will help you to succeed and come out of those challenges and overcome those challenges. Possible? Yes, sir. So can we think of positive affirmations and fill our mind with that? Yes, and remember, this is in our control. This is totally in your control. Fill your mind with positive affirmations, right? Wonderful. So some of the areas to focus on. Have a look at this. I think many of the things we have discussed. If you want to be corporate ready, communication skill, interview skills, personality grooming, presentation skills, time management, teamwork, email etiquettes, and which all will lead you to build your confidence. Yeah, anything urgent? Okay, you want to leave? Yeah, you might do that. Yeah, so to sum up what all we have discussed over the last 4 hours, right, if you want to remain focused, try and spend time on building your skill sets, hone your skill sets. Be it communication, be it interview skills, personality grooming. Remember, interview skills, group discussion skills cannot start at the end of second sem. It cannot start at the end of second sem because in third sem, Recruiters are coming. Date is already announced. You start with your preparation. Is that the time to start preparation? The time starts now. Right, wonderful. So be it presentation skills or time management or teamwork or email etiquettes, right? So try and remain focused. Where do you want to spend time on? All right. And with this, I would leave you with the 6H model. So one thought, food for thought is try to practice the 6H's, which is nothing but honesty, humility. Health means remain physically fit, right? Hunger means hunger for success, hunger for chasing knowledge, hunger for that ask. Have that hunger, have that curiosity, right? Hunger for food to every day hota hai yaar, right? And hard work or smart work, whatever it is, and have those value systems which are going to drive your personality. This is, I want to leave you with this thought of 6S model, right? I am also mindful of the time, and all I would like to say is, we'll go back to our peers. In the morning, when we started off this session, we started having a conversation with our neighbor. Yes, we will go back to our neighbor, and now what you will discuss is, what are your takeaways from the session, and what are your aspirations? Can I get your attention, please? What we will do is, in the next 4 minutes, you will talk about what are you taking away from these 4 hours? What is it that you want to start doing differently? Right? What are your aspirations and goals? For 2 minutes. And listen to your neighbor for 2 minutes. All right? 4 minutes activity, and your time starts now. 4 minutes. Listen to, see, look into his eyes and listen, no? Arey Baba, eye contact. Yes, sir. In this.
Management, like prioritize the work which is more important or urgent, and those are urgent, do that part first and then the other part, because while doing the other work we just forgot the urgent works, and then our works are left.
Right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Right, I am sure you all must have also shared with your neighbor and also heard about from your neighbor what is it that you want to start doing from now onwards. And before we wrap up the session, what is it that has been your experience over the last 4 hours? Any voices, any person would like to stand up and share your thoughts about your experience over the last 4 hours? Any of you would like to talk about it? What has been your experience over the last 4 hours? Yeah, please. If you can take the mic, please.
Jai Hind, sir. So what I got to know that sometimes setting goals is very important, and if you have to go to the corporate world, so there are so many skills which are we have to work on. And right now, like from my point of view, I am not ready for the corporate world, and I will definitely.
2 years are there. Runway is 2 years.
Yeah, I still have 2 years.
You are not ready right yet, but
yeah, but I have.
What is the preparation that you are doing for that? Is 2 years.
Yeah, so I will work on in those 2 years.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, any other voice? Anyone of you would like to talk about what has been your experience over the last 4 hours? Yeah, can we have the mic, please? Yeah.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
Sir, it was really...
Excuse me, can we have one voice in one hall? Because there is only one hall here, so there can be one voice at a time.
Sir, it was really nice session. We got to know a lot about time management. I really appreciate, sir, your efforts. We were doing nonsense, but different type of opinions were there, but you respected us. Sir, the time management, the to-do list, they are some of the very basic things. But you got us to the depth of that, the importance of that, which will be really useful for us as a management students in future. So thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, any other voice? Any of you would like to talk about your own experience? Yeah, please take the mic. Oh, please, please, please. Take care of your pen. Bhaiya, ek minute.
Jai Hind, sir. It is a survival process of getting corporate life because we face many struggles in campus life. We face many struggles in campus life, then only we survive in corporate life. By this we can understand the process is very long, so we should go in right way. How it is negligence way we are going. So we have plans and to-do things. We should follow these things. Thank you.
Right, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'd like to leave you with one statement of Bill Cosby, who went on to say, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than the fear of failure that we all have. Right? So this is the statement that you all should carry with yourself, that desire to succeed. Right? This will take you to the goals of yours. So good luck to every one of you. And best wishes from my side. Thank you so much.
We would like to express our sincerest gratitude to you, sir. Thank you for leading this informative session. We trust that students have acquired a wealth of knowledge that will greatly contribute to their career development. Thank you, and we look forward for your next visit to our campus soon.